Hey, Leroy. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing perfectly fine, pretty much.
It's been a long time no see.
Yeah.
I missed you. When's the last time we actually saw each other?
It's not that long ago, because I visited you with my brother at your place.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
You came to my city.
7 months ago.
Yeah, that's long.
Yeah.
In my book, that's long.
Yeah, for me with traveling and stuff, it's not that long.
I stayed in one of your villas for a few days.
Yeah,
in
how was
Bali.
it?
Dude, it was amazing. It was amazing. Amazing spot you have there.
Yeah, it's
That was actually the first time that we went on a trip and that my girlfriend said for the first time, yeah, I could live here.
really.
Normally she's like, I miss this, I miss that. It doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
No, but that's a great thing, because my mom normally always tries to think of like, what could people miss? So it's really
Yeah,
funny
yeah,
that you
yeah,
actually say that, because my mom always comes over when the villas are ready, and then she goes shopping with Wayan, which is my villa manager.
Yeah.
And they actually check like, what are the Western things that people most likely need that they probably don't have?
Yeah,
It could be as small as like a mosquito, like, well, how do you call that, slasher thing?
Yeah, no, the electric
The
swatter.
electric, yeah, like swatter.
That
So-
thing.
So small things like that, or like the smoke you can have in order to avoid mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Or it's like you want to have extra towels because now you have a baby there. So it's like you want to take care of all these small things which might happen, but not always happen. And the same is with like the cinema. If you roll the thing
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
it's like a really nice thing. Not everyone has it, but it
Yeah.
makes it like very cozy, and that's then a unique selling point. So it's like
For sure.
people miss that. People want to be cozy because they're on holiday, and then they don't have the feeling. It's the same as like having a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of villas don't have blankets. But how nice is it to cuddle up with your girlfriend at night and like chill?
Yeah, no, we're
You want
past
a
that point.
Oh yeah, past that point. Yeah,
No,
makes
no,
sense.
we have
You-
a kid now.
Yeah,
we,
no-
we
no
just
more
sit on
cuddles.
opposite side of the couch,
yeah.
and just every now and then, like, want a drink? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Go get me a coffee. No, that makes sense. But we're here today not to talk about villas. We're here to talk about YouTube.
There you go.
So tell me a little bit, because most people that are watching this channel are familiar with what I do.
Yeah.
You do pretty much what I do, but with a face.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the biggest difference, if you would ask me, like, what's the difference between Warner and Leroy, it's that I mainly work with creators that are personality creators. So, you know, people who have their face on the actual YouTube channel and that are trying to build, you know, become the next YouTube star and become the next, I don't know, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Mr. Beast, whatever, like one of the big names. So those are the type of creators that I work with.
Interesting. So how does someone become the next Logan Paul or Jake Paul? What would be in the playground? Let's say I would need to become the next Jake Paul. What do I need to do?
Yeah, so of course, like, there's a little bit of nuance there. So I don't think anyone should, you know, try to become the next whatever name. I think one of the biggest things that I always focus on with the clients I work with is, who are you and what are your unfair advantages? And that's like one of the things people get tired of me hearing me say unfair advantages. But the thing is, everyone has a set of unfair advantages. Your unfair advantage is the fact that you, ever since a very young age, were kind of infatuated with YouTube. You were like, YouTube was like your little, like, it was like a puzzle. You were trying to figure out, like, okay, if I do this, maybe money rolls out that side. And then you tried stuff. And because you did that from such a young age, you have such a big head start to 99% of the world when it comes to YouTube knowledge and knowing how it evolved and knowing the intricacies of psychology and why people click and why people watch. That's an unfair advantage. So I always try to figure out, if a client comes to me, he's like, hey, I'm sometimes they're stuck on a plateau. It's like, I'm getting like 200,000 views on the video and I spin this for like, for a year. I can't seem to figure out how to grow. It's like, okay, have you like literally looked at your content and be like, am I doing the right steps to become someone that is either hated or loved?
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing that everyone that's on top of any mountain, doesn't matter if it's in business, if it's in YouTube, it's whatever, they all have one thing in common, and that is that a lot of people love them
Yeah.
and a lot of people hate them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying don't become a dick and become like, an insufferable person, but if you want to become someone who is known, famous for something, people need to remember you.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things, like, a lot of creators try to be like everyone's friend, and they try to be like, hey, what's up, guys? And like, I love everyone. It's like, it doesn't, in the long term, like, I understand you're trying to play the corporate game, but it's not going to work. You need to stand for something. And, you have your own beliefs, and you think like faceless is the way. And you have your beliefs on like how you should structure your company.
Yeah.
And why, I don't know, the Dutch government is crazy or Dutch taxes is crazy. Here's why. Talk about that stuff, because that makes you unique. That makes you an actual human. And that's one of the things that I go really, really deep on, and that's what most people don't realize. I had people coming to me. They're like, I've thrown away my life. You know, I'm 30. I don't have any unfair advantages. I was like, okay, what do you do day to day? Well, I work and I play video games. I was like, okay, what video game?
Yeah.
I've been playing World of Warcraft for 12 years. There's
Okay.
your unfair advantage.
Yeah.
So your channel should be around something with World of Warcraft. You know
That's
that.
so funny. I literally yesterday looked at like one of my biggest niches is like to fall asleep to. And actually, one of the channels that I saw yesterday was World of Warcraft lore to fall asleep to.
There you go.
So if you have 12 years of knowledge about characters and stuff in World of Warcraft, you can make very dedicated videos about that character and go in depth on that story. And it doesn't even go for just World of Warcraft. So once you get one thing going,
Yeah.
you can keep it going with different kind of things. There's the same sort of channel with League of Legends lore. And it's like League of Legends are 40 champions, and it's like a 12-hour long compilation, and then the RPM is insanely high. So yeah, I also think everyone has this unfair advantage. I wouldn't even say that there's a lot of difference between with phase and without a phase, because with a phase you have more brand deals, more money coming in, but it's a different way of structuring it. Like the appeal and the reason why faceless YouTube sells as much as it does, talking from a coaching experience point here, is because people don't want to be known.
Yeah.
People always say like the best thing is to be rich and to not be known and just to live your life in luxury. And the other thing is like you can make a lot more money. Like Jake Paul makes more money than I do. For sure, if you break a fight against Mike Tyson, then you definitely make a lot of money. For sure, if you own a gambling company.
Yeah.
But if you go from that point and it's like, okay, you are a Jake Paul, then you have such an amount of influence that you are able to sell hundreds of thousands pay-per-view tickets.
Yeah.
Which if I would try that on every single one of my faceless channels combined, I would probably not sell 100 tickets. Because there's no brand really in it. I do have branded channels, but still it's like not to that point where I can get people to come up to show for a boxing fight. And that's the thing that where a phase has a very good plus point. And you can do, how you call it again, when you collect money from fans in order to start something.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
to renovate a house and be like, hey, you work with one party that I actually follow as well. With the dogs, the storytelling.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Golden Kobe family.
The Kobe family?
Yeah, the Golden Kobe family.
The Golden Kobe family. And it's like with golden retrievers.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that channel as well. And it's really fun to see them going viral. And of course, you complimenting him and him complimenting you for the great work you've done. And recently you had an amazing viral video.
Yeah.
3.4 million views or so in like a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I just broke 5 million.
5 million views.
Yeah.
Insane. And then the RPM actually on that niche is surprisingly high compared to normal dog videos.
It's insane. I was shocked about the RPM because
the watch time is insane because the storytelling is so good.
Like that was one of the first things that we really focused on with them is like, hey, I think there's so much potential in you, it's just not coming out because your stories are not structured the right way. So that was one of the first things that I really focused on with them. It's like figuring out, okay, I'm going to teach you everything I know about storytelling, 15 years of storytelling knowledge. I'm going to try to cram that in your brain, and we're going to, video by video, we're going to make it 5% better.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we try to do, and it's going really well right now. But yeah, I think what you're saying is spot on. I think one of the biggest things that I see, I work with, over the past years, I've worked with some of the biggest creators in the world, like biggest faces in the world. And one of the things they all have in common is that when you have a face brand, so personality brand, you have this one thing, and this leverage. And a lot of these people love leverage to get new deals going, if I want to start a company and I need investment, it's way easier to get investment when you're,
famous.
Known, Logan Paul, or if you're Mr. Beast, it's way easier to get people to invest in you. That's one of the things that I see like is a pattern for all of them. They like to have that leverage of the personal brand. And a lot of billionaires nowadays, and I've worked with some of them.
Yeah, with the Shark Tank guys.
Yeah. I can't name all the names because with some people I'm under NDA still, but some Shark Tank people, for example, they understand now, like, crap. Like, if I would just focus on a personal brand, I could leverage my brand even more, and I can even make even
100%.
more money. And these are billionaires. Like, these people don't need money.
They don't need money. They don't need anything. They just need, which in this society is more important than money, is attention.
Yeah, and it's that social leverage of like, hey, being known opens doors that normally will still stay closed for you. But there's one thing that I think is way better about Faceless is that a creator, a faceless channel is not a reverse pyramid. A creator-driven channel is a reverse pyramid. If my client stops working, the whole operation stops.
Yeah.
Because they're not on the channel, like we can't upload videos, revenue goes down, teams need to get fired at some point. So it's a mess.
Yeah.
Whereas like, with a faceless empire like you have, being a top 1% in your business, you can have all these teams working. And if you decide tomorrow that you are going on a trip for a week, you can probably do that without having too much of a hassle.
Correct.
Whereas with my clients, for them, it's like, oh, man, I have clients that they're like, hey, I'm very close to burning out. I need to get, like 2-3 weeks off. It's like, okay, we need to think about that. Okay, we need to think, okay, what is that? What are the implications for the channel? Okay, it's fine, but you're still bleeding money. So are we good on the financial point? Like I look at all the aspects of the business of my clients and help them make the right decision. But for me, everything above everything, like sanity and just mental clarity is the most important thing. I've had clients where I said like, okay, I don't want your money for the coming 2-3 months. What I want you to do is take 2-3 months off. But we're going to stop. We're going to cease all payments. I don't care. Like, I don't care about your money. I'm very good on money. I don't need money.
Yeah.
I need you to be healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's very different with Faceless, where I think Faceless wins 100%. It's so much easier to keep the operation going if you're like, today's my off day.
Yeah, no, that's completely true because I run 2 businesses. I run, of course, my Faceless empire, and I run a coaching, and then now I'm focused 80% on coaching because the stuff that I learned in coaching, I'm actually applying to YouTube automation because for me, I'm at the point where the only thing that matters is like systems.
Yeah.
And then you're 100% right. Like it's like a reverse pyramid. With a personal brand, everything relies on you.
Yeah.
And that the same actually goes for my personal channels that are attached to the coaching company. So Wonder Academy, Wonder Dutch, and Wonder. They're all purely connected to what I do on a day-to-day basis. Like I have to make those videos, I have to check them, and I have to upload them. Of course, still the editing part and thumbnail part and everything in that regard is completely outsourced still. But the core part still remains that if I don't make videos and I'm sick, it collapses and it doesn't get as many views, which means we get less customers.
Yeah.
But then the thing is with like Faceless, I can stop, and I've done this in the past where I actually haven't worked on a business at all in 6 months' time. But yet the business still remains.
Yeah.
It doesn't grow much when I'm not there, but that has more so to do with the teams not knowing enough to start channels on their own and seeing good opportunities versus what they actually like. Mm-hmm. And there's a huge difference in those two. So when they're doing what they like, they think, oh, what we're going to do right now is a good idea.
Yeah.
When I take a look at it for 10 seconds, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So there's a huge difference in those two, where it's like the business normally grows when I'm involved, but when I'm not involved, it doesn't stagnate or doesn't die out either.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the great thing about being faceless, and it allows you to operate even when you're sick, because the amount of work you have to do is at the minimum because everything is outsourced.
Yeah.
But when you're the main person, you have to build a storyline and you have to get dogs or other people or other animals involved, it becomes a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest difference. But like, if I'm going to try and build like, let's say a dog compilation channel, but then legitimize it and get it monetized on YouTube, it doesn't compare to a great storytelling personality brand.
Yeah.
You will sell 100 times more because you have the storytelling part. Yeah. And now you're able to sell fucking dog food in Walmart and stuff. Yeah. Where if I'm going to try it, everyone's like, who are you? Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. So there's a huge difference in those two.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they both have their pros and cons. If I look at myself and why I chose to, like, I still work with some faceless channels, but they're like branded channels, like, you know, higher end, actual like big businesses. But I just enjoy working with these personality channels more because I like working with. I hate working with people in my own company. Yeah, I love working with people on their channels. It's a bit of a weird paradox, but
that makes sense.
That's why I keep my business very small. Like I have my personal assistant, and that's kind of it. Yeah. And I have the actual CEO of the household, and my partner keeps me alive. But that's about it. You know, I'm now like for the first time ever, I'm training a YouTube strategist to become my junior and become my right hand. But besides that, I keep it small because I enjoy working with like this one person. Be like, okay, how can I blow you up? Yeah. Like how can I make you the biggest thing ever? And I just stay in the shadows and. You know, if people ask, like, you know, I want to be known in the right rooms, but I'm not that 16-year-old anymore that was making videos with his friends to go viral and to become famous. I don't care about that anymore. I just want to be the guy that's like, oh, that's Mr. X. Like, he just makes YouTube stars. That's good for me. But I don't want to be known as well. So in that sense, I completely understand faceless creators. Completely.
So your point would be a little bit, how's the guy called from Night Media again? The guy that Reed, yeah. So your goal is to become like a less famous version of Reed.
Yeah, I mean, like Reed does more management stuff, and I definitely do not enjoy managing people in the sense of like managing their brand. I think there's people way more qualified for that, but I do enjoy figuring out like, hey, you're now here, and your goal is to become, you know, this, and it's there. How can we get you from here to there in 5 years? And then I always aim to do it in 3, but you know, 5 years is the timeline I always say. But I enjoy like molding that person. You know, I always go back to one of my favorite stories ever. It's also to kind of rebuke where it's like, well, you're a YouTube strategist and you don't have your own channels anymore. How do you know what works? I always go back to Glenn Mills. Glenn Mills was a very average Jamaican track runner in high school. Was not great at it. He was okay, but he realized after making the track team, the sprinting team, okay, I'm never like, you know, looking at his peers, he was looking around, he's like, I'm never gonna make, you know, anything significant out of this. But Glenn was obsessed with running.
Yeah.
He was just not physically, he was not the greatest himself. So he stopped on the track team, but he kept going every day to watch the other guys run. And he, you know, gave himself like little chores to do. He, you know, folded clothing. And at some point, the head coach was like, well, if you're going to be here every day, Glenn, then just do some stuff for me then. So he gave him some tasks. And over the years, Glenn got a very strong eye for looking at runners, being like, oh, if you would just change that, you know, that foot plant here, he would be like 1.1 faster in the long run, like in a 500 meter dash, whatever. Glenn became insanely good at what he does. But nobody really knew Glenn. Now, there was another guy when Glenn was coming up as a coach, and he was like really like honing his skill and sharpening his blade. There was another guy coming up as a sprinter that was pretty good at running, but he hit a plateau. He had his first Olympics, wasn't great. He was like, man, I need to change something. And this guy's name was Usain Bolt. Oh. And Usain Bolt got in contact with Glenn. He's like, Glenn, you know, I hit a plateau. Like, I can't go faster than this. And Glenn helped Usain become the fastest man on the planet.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to ask, like, do you know Usain Bolt? Most people in the street would be like, yeah, that's a runner guy, right? Like the fastest guy on the planet. If you ask people who's Glenn Mills, they're like,
yeah, I wouldn't know.
I want to be Glenn Mills.
Yeah.
I don't care about the fame. I don't care about any other, like, I don't care about those aspects. I want to have leverage in the right rooms, but I don't care about, like, oh, you know, let me go on.
Well, you want to be known for your expertise.
Yeah, I want to, you know, when you go to Fit Summit, that's where I want to have people like, hey, I know you. But when I go to a supermarket,
no,
leave me alone.
Not. Exactly.
I'm looking for eggs.
No, that makes sense. My mom actually has the same thing, because that's where in coaching as well, it's like, in the beginning, I wasn't the best coach. But then I wanted to become a better coach. I read a few books and I started optimizing systems. I actually got a coach in order to coach. Yeah. Oh, you always have that meme like where you get a coach to teach you how to do coaching for coaches. And it's always that meme. And it's like, but it's partially true, because with that, I'm learning systems and time management and optimizations that I'm like, holy shit, just this one thing you told me, it's been worth like the entire investment, because now that's going to save me 3 hours a week.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every single week for this future of this business. Yeah. Which we recently had like a certain routing form that we could do, and that's going to save me like literally 1 day a week.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, literally that 1 day a week is worth so much to me that literally this call alone has been worth all the money that I invested into this program. Yeah, exactly. And that's how people should see it as well. Like sometimes you just need one small little nugget in order to get everything worth it for you. Actually, this was one thing you wanted to talk about as well. It's like the multi-language brands. Yeah,
that's something that I'm really interested in, because it's so far removed from what I do, in a sense. Like, yeah, like with most of my clients, like we do the dubbing, and you know that is a part of it, but it's way different. You know, like it's easy for me to like, okay, I have my US clients and we dub in Indonesian and we dub in this and Russian and whatever, like the biggest languages in the world, and we call it a day, right? Like, it's like okay, now get views and make us more money. Great.
Yeah, sort of. It actually doesn't. Which is very
like, but like that's kind of what, you know, the biggest themes that I work with, we think it's like, well, you know, bigger audience, more money, right? And that's where it stops. So for me, it's really a black box where you are really, really an expert on. You're starting in like name the most obscure language that you have a channel in right now.
Obscure, I would say probably Hindi. A lot of people.
But isn't that like a big language? Like
it is. It is. But the thing is, like, let's say which Western company is making content in India?
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a very small percentage.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then if you want a most controversial, it's still Russia. And Russia is actually really great right now.
Yeah.
Because people are not able to watch YouTube anymore in Russia. So they're actually using a VPN. And there's this meme that my team also showed to me. It was an article in the Telegraph. And it said that the Netherlands, is that a country or is it a VPN? Where it's like every single person from Russia.
Yeah, they connect to Amsterdam.
They connect with Amsterdam. So you're getting Western CPMs in Russia now. Well, the average spend in Russia is like 4 times as low as in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But now you're getting paid 3 times as much over an audience that's 220 million people.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So it is actually one of the most interesting countries, and we actually went viral in Russia now within 6 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it is very interesting. But what I wanted to say is when you said like when big companies think they should dub, same thing where I have the reason that I don't think Mr. Beast should have dubbed his content, where it might be different because he's selling worldwide products in which it might be more interesting to have lower AdSense revenue in regards to having a lot of channels run and a lot of management systems. Because now there's a redirect. Whenever you click on Mr. Beast Espanol, you automatically get reverted to the English one.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that when you're making content where language is also inside of the video, then the dubbing doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, that makes
So there are certain niches. I'm not going to call them because I'm in most of them, because that's where I've done. Probably in Barcelona, I've done about 20, 25 hours of pure dedicated research towards it. Like what makes certain countries click for certain reasons. Like in which countries do you have multiple languages, in which do you have a wider demographic. So when you're looking at the total space there, it's like what actually makes sense. As an example, we have an Islamic channel about talking about Islam. And then that channel makes a lot of sense to dub into Arabic. Nobody was doing it really in Arabic. That channel literally blew up in about 12 videos. It's now doing 50,000 views a day. And that's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's like not a high RPM. Arabic is pretty low, like how do you say that, spending volume.
Yeah.
So they don't have a lot of purchasing power. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So the RPM is really low, but 50,000 views a day times 2 is $100 a day. And the dub version of it cost me like $3 a pop.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, but which is the second largest Islamic country in the world?
I don't know. I can make a lot of jokes now, but I really don't know. I really do not know.
Indonesia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have
Besides
guessed that.
Bali, Indonesia is full and purely dedicated towards Muslim, of course, Islamic.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense to also go ahead and dub that language or dub that video into Indonesian, because there's over 200 million people you can reach. Even if that RPM is $1, let's say you can realistically get 300,000 views a day. That will not be impossible if you're talking about Islam.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you get 300,000 views a day and the dub version of it costs $2.50, let's say it costs $10.
Yeah.
So you're spending $10 a day, but your earning opportunity is $300 a day. And the time spent to make a dub is significantly lower than the English version.
Yeah.
So now you're getting videos for cheaper, which brings your average cost per video down. So let's say, because the original video is $10 and the dubs for us are $2.50, but let's say it's $10 each. So you're spending $30. But now you have 3 videos going live every single day on 3 different languages, which means if only one of those 3 channels now gets $30 a day, it makes the entire operation for 3 channels profitable.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So you're having more testing volume. So now you have to look at like which languages can you dub in which the text also has to change consistently.
Yeah.
So one of the brands that we've done that in is Quiz Videos. So Quiz Videos is the original brand. I'm just going to talk about it publicly. We're doing that in 16 languages.
Yeah.
And because we're doing that in 16 languages, actually the language that has failed the most is Korean. The second hardest language is actually English, because there's a lot of competition.
Yeah, very saturated. Yeah.
But everything else isn't.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
there's a lot of opportunity in that. And the visual text that's shown in the videos, once again, is dubbed, which means that you cannot use the dub function to compete against me. Because if you're going to have English text shown and you're going to speak in Hindi, people are going to be really annoyed and it's going to ruin your watch time.
Yeah.
Which means you're not going to succeed, but I will.
Yeah.
So that gives me that unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Good thing that these podcasts come out like a month or 2 later, so I still have some time to build up some new stuff. But with these dubs, you have so much opportunity. So as a creator base, as an example, it wouldn't make sense for Kobe, the Golden Family, to go ahead and dub it in any other language besides Spanish.
Yeah.
Why? A large audience of the US actually speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
So Spanish is the only dub that does make sense if you want to sell dog food. But let's say he now goes and the brand goes amazing in America and you're going to pitch Europe. There's not a greater thing you can do than in the countries you're going to pitch is have at least one video in a dub version. And the moment they agree, dub every single video in that version.
Yeah.
Where you're going to have... You go to German, you're going to get a German version. It's like, hey, listen, we have this huge brand in America and stuff. It's working. These are our sales. These are our YouTube views. Now we're going to dub this into German. You don't need a separate channel for that unless you're consistently showing text on screen.
Yeah.
But then you can just use the dub function on the YouTube channel itself. But the moment you have text, you have to build separate channels.
Yeah. So like when it comes to these like personality channels, one of the big things that I see with let's call them the top 1% of creators that I work with, like the real like the biggest, is that it's always about opportunity cost. So, for example, a deal structure that I've seen happen quite a few times is now we have a creator, we put a physical product in a store.
Yeah.
And that could be, a big retailer. So for the Golden Kobe family, for example, their biggest audience, although they're UK, is actually US. Like that's the biggest part of their audience. So for them, you could structure a deal in ways like, okay, hey, we want to be in the major retailers in the US. Okay, that's going well. At some point, you have umbrella companies, of course, like the bigger corporations. They're like, hey, we also have stores in Europe, and we want to put you there as well. But we need to have marketing power. It's going great here. So one of the things that for a lot of these creators is like opportunity cost. Like, okay, if we would now dub all of our content, like really dub, so, get a dedicated channel, get a dedicated team on it, how much of my brain power is that going to cost, and how much do we need to change our internal company structure? For most of them, it's like, whatever. Like, I don't really care. Like, I see a big opportunity there. I want to chase that.
Yeah.
And Nike wants to work with me or this. So, they're like, their
100%.
focus is completely somewhere else. So the team needs to take, the burden of that, of doing that. What now happens a lot, and this is what I see more and more, is that these big retailers say like, okay, what if we do that whole part of the dubbing for you? We just take a few more percentage of the revenue of it. For creators, they're like, oh, fine.
Yeah,
like
outsource.
you make the channel, we keep ownership, we keep all the licenses, the IP is all ours. You just make sure, like you facilitate, you produce
100%.
that whole part. For creators, especially the big ones, it's like, perfect. Okay, I don't have to think about it. You get to like do the marketing around all that stuff, and you do the marketing for us so that we sell in Germany, and now we get German fans. Is great.
Yeah, 100%.
But for most of these, especially the creators that are the biggest in the US, they, even if it's right or wrong, but most of them think like, well, I already have the US market, so the rest is like, meh.
Yeah,
that's what
you're
most
leaving
of
out
them
a
think.
lot of money.
Yeah, but that's what most of these creators that, I think Jimmy, Mr. Beast, is one of the few that understands global power better. Where it's like, okay, if I can make a globally recognized brand, that will give me the best ROI. But
100%.
most of these creators are not willing to get 500 people staff or 1,000 people staff and build out these big corporate structures. I have some creators that I work with that are literally in the tens of millions of subscribers that have a 5-man team. Because they're like, I don't want to have the headache of more people. Please help.
Yeah, no, but that makes sense. Like at one point you're so big where if you have a very small team and you're making great money, what is the actual reason to get more money?
Yeah.
Unless you're, like Jimmy says, you're a psychopath and you just want more. And that makes sense because I have the same thing. I just want to build more teams. I'm looking at these huge companies like the Little Dot Studio or the Soul Publishing, Media Cube. I'm looking at these huge companies. What are they doing and what can I take from their playbook and get into my own system?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at right now. And one of those things is like, hey, they actually got big for 5-minute crafts and they got big of the riddles, which is actually the next brand that we're launching is riddles.
Yeah.
So we're building riddles, and then because of that, we are actually shown a lot of text on screen. So that's a great version to dub in every single language. And because these riddles, people get 60 seconds to think, the cost per video is like $15 a pop per language. So times 16 is still $200 per video, but you only need one channel to do well. You make back all the money.
Yeah.
But then you're growing this international brand into so many languages where it becomes very interesting eventually for one of those companies to be like, hey, we actually want to acquire you. And then that's very interesting. That's the point where I want to get to. One of the tools that I need is like a CMS. For most people, that's not very well known. It's a content management system. And it's a system in YouTube where you can create new channels, but you can also use content ID claims and protect copyright and other tools. But you can also create channels, and it allows you to not circumvent, but a lower risk of getting demonetized. And it has a different demonetization appeal process, which actually helps very much with dubbing. That's one of the tools and one of the reasons that I use it with. For legitimate reasons, then you get a higher revenue share, but you can also use it to monetize certain content you normally can't, which is also one thing that I'm actually helping people and teaching people in now as well.
Yeah.
So you have that all settled and all done. Then the next thing becomes like, okay, how can you go ahead and create that revenue that they're doing? Well, I'm not the Soul Publishing. They're so big that Amazon actually pays them millions of dollars to just go ahead and upload all of their content over to that platform. So the platform has content. Yeah. I'm not at that position yet, but later on I can be. Yeah. One of the next platforms we're distributing will be Amazon. They're actually looking for content and, the reshape cost. And because we're not a direct partner of Amazon, we're going through second party. They're taking 45% of the revenue. We'll keep 55. Yeah. But we don't have to do shit. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So now everything is uploaded and done and it's multi-language brands, and that's very interesting for them. We were actually pitching Snapchat through Quabblecop as well, but they're actually removing shows, so that's no
Yeah.
longer an opportunity, unfortunately. But it's really great for creators.
Yeah.
It's actually really good for the Kobe family probably to hop on Snapchat. I don't know if they are.
No, but
They should.
I've been talking to some people. Yeah,
They
but
should.
it's-
They can make a lot more money on Snapchat than they can on YouTube.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. No,
Like I know how much my Snapchat makes. I know how much Quabblecop and other people make. So
yeah.
it's insane. Like when you get a reasonable small audience, let's say 250,000 followers, and you get also 250,000 views per snap, which is possible because you also get into Explore and people discover you.
Yeah.
You can make about $50 per Snapchat photo you take.
Yeah,
Well, imagine taking 15 or 20 photos of your dog every single day. That's $1,000 a day.
yeah, for sure.
And then imagine plugging your fucking dog food in there
Yeah,
and then having a link in that as well. And then a promo video. And then
Yeah,
now it
yeah.
doesn't become 1,000 a day. Now it becomes $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a day. So that's the opportunity. What I said, like that's what creators have with the face, or if they're known for a specific thing. I don't have that opportunity. What am I gonna do? I'm here with Leroy podcast. Woohoo! Let's go. That's snap one, and then it's gonna be awkward if I'm gonna pull out my phone again and again and again. It's like, yeah, we just talked about this, guys. You won't believe it. And then Snapchat.
Well, that's what actually I think you're touching on a very good point here. Was what I realize now that I'm getting older. You know, I'm 31 now. I'm going gray, literally going gray. It's not. That's actually it's not funny.
I'm 25. I feel so far.
I hope these cameras aren't too good, but. One of the things that I started realizing as well is like I've been on some trips with some of my clients, you know, for that were like big video shoots that weren't too confident. I was like, you know, this is maybe like also a difference between me and some of the other top strategists in the world. Like I'll fly to you. I don't care where you are in the world. Like I'll help you out. Like we'll make it work.
Amazing.
And what I realized then as well is like, especially with these creators they need to make content. Like, you know, you're going somewhere, you need to go out to dinner. Like, wait, I need to make a story. And I'm just standing there like, fucking.
Yeah.
And they
I
try
say-
like you have like, you know, secondhand embarrassment because they're talking to their phone like in the middle of the street shouting at it. It's like, can you do that tomorrow maybe when I'm gone? Like,
Yeah, no, I completely get that. I have the same for the coaching company, of course, because you have to do like CTAs. I actually have to do them right after this podcast.
yeah,
And it's like I have to make
ice coaching. Leroy approves.
Nice. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. It's like we have to put like certain CTAs in order to fill up the calendar, of course, for the salespeople. With all respect, like I like to be transparent in that.
Yeah.
Just because we deliver quality and we have a system for that, and that also is what I think separates us from a lot of other coachings. Where when you look a lot online, they get a lot of negativity around them for coaching, and they don't really have a good product and don't have good quality.
Yeah, but as they should.
And but that's the big issue with the coaching industry.
Yeah.
So what we now have is we have a system called red, orange, green.
Mhm.
And as long as people are in the green area, there's an 80% likelihood of them succeeding, which is absolutely insane. And this is tracked. It's like 79%.
Yeah,
On right now, like since we started, about 100 plus customers.
let's go.
So it's insane.
awesome.
This is not like it's like 5 people and it's like 4 succeeded and 1
Yeah.
failed. No, so it's like when people are in red, and this is really fun with coaching and also like things that I'm applying to different business models and also to YouTube. Like, hey, if you're on schedule, you're good. If you're not doing consistent uploads and you're making mistakes, you put in orange, which means like, hey, listen, if we have to lay people off, we know immediately who to call.
Yeah,
So it gives us a direct way of feedback. So when people are in red, it either means they completely don't understand it, which happens. Not everyone always understands everything about faceless YouTube, which is normally a misjudgment because we're not trying to sell to those people.
Yeah.
If we really have the feeling that we actually had one yesterday because I was looking at messages till 3 a.m. And one of the people actually was from Kazakhstan, and his English was so bad that we couldn't sell to him because we knew he wouldn't get success. Which is then a higher risk of getting negative publicity than it is positive publicity.
Yeah.
So you want to avoid that because that would be immediately red mark because how is he going to go ahead and structure good titles?
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen. Another red case is like people miss calls. So we have a rule, you have to be on time for your call because we don't want to waste my time or the coach's time.
Yeah.
And then if you're more than 5 minutes late, the call gets canceled. You're not allowed to book a call for that week.
Yeah.
So it moves to next week, which immediately puts you either into orange or red, which means you're going to go and run behind on schedule.
Yeah.
Because we have this thing is like a lot of people want quick success, but a lot of people don't want to work hard. And once again, YouTube automation is not something where you get rich overnight. Absolutely not. It's got to take a lot of hard work. And we also ask people like, how hard do you want to work? So it's like, you want to do the minimum. The minimum is 1 hour per day for 30 days to set it up. But if you have a little bit more money and you can be a little bit more aggressive, then it's like, okay, we wanted to get you live within like 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And immediately once you're live and we have the team and we have it outsourced, immediately channel number 2 and immediately channel number 3.
Yeah.
So sometimes for clients, we have 3 or 4 channels live within 3 months.
Yeah.
Because they just understand it and they're like, hey, this team is working. And then out of nowhere, it's like, because they're investing more rapidly than other people are, it's like they now are getting like results. So we have one person and he actually got monetized in 5 weeks. So first channel, 5 weeks, and immediately fucking viral video, AI storytelling. And the guy was doing $2,000 a day. Absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
And immediately I was like, okay, let's try and adopt these channels. So his Spanish channel is also doing $300 a day now. And then now he's doing his German channel. And now his German channel is actually monetized within 5 videos. So now instead of having one channel, he has 3 channels. And then we're adding Italian and we're adding French because those are one of the best performing languages to dub in. French has an RPM of 4.5, Italy about 8.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely mind blowing. It's really great money. So we're adding these as well. And then it's like, okay, we've done that in this niche now. We're just waiting for you to hit your AdSense paycheck again.
Yeah.
Because then you get all your money, all your funds, everything back in one go. Because the month that he's getting is like 20K. And that's literally within the coaching time itself. So it's a mind blowing result.
Yeah.
That money is then immediately reinvested into we're building a second AI brand, a third AI brand, a fourth AI brand. And then you're spinning up the turn because they're doing very well. And of course, that's the person that's in green. But back to red. Red is when people miss calls. They don't reply to text. We had someone, Lily, from the 17th of February till yesterday, not respond a single time. We've sent 4 different follow-ups. So the first follow-up we send if we don't get a response within 48 hours. The second follow-up we send if we don't get a follow-up within the next week. So normally when people don't respond, it's probably like a Tuesday, and then we send up a follow-up on Thursday or Friday. We don't get a follow-up by Monday. Monday we send another follow-up, and then by another Friday we send another follow-up because we're having opening week and closing week, of course, which makes sense. That's when you do follow-ups, and you're going to try and get people active again because you want to get people as much results as possible.
Of course,
When people are not doing that, they'll be put in red. So in red, we disregard them because it's their lack of effort and not something to do with our program. Orange just means they're a little bit slower. They understand it a little bit worse. They're most likely not able to get results within 3 months. But as long as they keep pushing, they will probably get results within 6 to 9 months, which makes sense, which is still sort of a success case. But they no longer have access to the one-on-one coaching after 3 months unless they extend and invest more money. And then green, it's normally success stories. Those are the ones, of course, that you post. And that's what I said, like, you have to get, like, the call to action, like, hey, this guy got success. When are you taking action? And it's like, it's like, you have to take a picture. You have to take a picture.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes it's so annoying, like, preferably I just want to go home and play League of Legends. Like, shut the fuck up and let me be alone. I have enough stuff to deal with in my head right now. So it's like, I don't want to do it, but, you know, you have a really big team, which if you have a small team, you don't have that. We've grown from 5 people to 15 people in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like we're consistently growing so rapidly that it becomes more complicated because now you have a guy that does CRM management and you have a graphic designer and you have a full-time editor and you have a full-time thumbnail artist. So you're having all of these people consistently working for you. So sometimes it becomes annoying. You're dependent. And that's where that reverse pyramid is with coaching. The moment I'd say I die, the coaching dies. Yeah. A very good example, I think. I don't know, it's like the best marketing stunt ever. Maybe you know where I'm heading.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Keep going.
It's a guy that did most likely in Dubai.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. I heard this story before it broke because I know some people of course.
There. Yeah.
So yeah, I heard that. I was like, ugh. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. It might be one of the best.
It is true.
It is actually true.
It is actually true, yeah.
Okay, I thought it would be like fucking Andrew Tate's marketing 101. Then he's like, I did a meeting with Andrew Tate in Romania, and it's like he told me to get like fucking caught up, and but like his whole personal brand, because I like my salespeople know their salespeople, etc., etc., etc. It's like they're all leaving. And it's like everything just collapses. Like you got everything in the world and it just collapsed.
Yeah, of course, but I mean it makes sense, and that's where that, you know, if you're the face of something, if the face disappears, you know, people and the staff, and rightfully so, they get angsty, you know, like, okay, well, what if my boss doesn't get out for the coming 10 years? My job is gone. So they start looking around, as they should.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's one of the big differences as well, like how, you know, you run your coaching versus what I do. Like I have never in my business done outreach to anyone.
Yeah.
Never. Everyone that works with me came to me. Yeah. Why? Because I don't want to deal with salespeople. I just don't. I'm literally
face to face.
It's not even like a face, but for me, like for my personality, it just doesn't work to have all these moving parts.
Makes sense.
I just I'm very confident in what I am and what I can do, but that took me time. I'm 31.
Yeah.
My whole 20s, I was looking and searching for like, who am I actually? And,
Yeah.
I recently tweeted about this as well. It's like, I still suffer massively from imposter syndrome half of the time, where it's like, where I have moments where at night I'm looking at the results and I'm looking at the awards and I'm like, man, was this all just luck? What if it all goes away tomorrow? Like, I still
I've had
deal
that
with
so
that.
many times.
I still deal with that a lot, but I'm now very confident. It's like, listen, you either want to work with me or not. And the thing that about like missing calls, I quite literally had this a few times where someone wanted to book a call with me, and I always do an intro call. It's not a sales call, absolutely not. I do an intro call to figure out like, hey, do I like you?
Yeah.
And am I going to loathe seeing your name in my calendar? If that's the case, I just don't want to work with you.
That makes
Every
sense.
client I work with on a long term, so like a year plus, they all become my friends.
Yeah.
And at some point, we always make the joke is like, I'm just an expensive friend for you. That's just kind of what it is. Like, you just pay me money to be your friend. That's kind of what it comes down to at some point.
Sort of expensive hooker who doesn't think close up.
Well, okay, just call me a hooker.
You said I wasn't allowed to call you anything I want,
I
so
think I'm the best paid
using
ugly hooker in the world in that case.
And then you haven't been to Amsterdam, to be honest. Holy shit, that stuff looks horrible.
Well, I'm happy you see me as prettier than some of those. I'll take it.
100%. Likelihood to go to you is higher than to go to them, and I'm not gay, so that says a lot about the quality here in the Netherlands. If that's the reason people visit here, you're probably better visiting like other places.
Probably, yeah, most definitely, actually.
Yeah.
But I think that's like for me, like that's big. It's like I've had people come and calls me, and they're 10 minutes late, and I leave, and then from that moment on, I don't even talk to you anymore. I have people who, to this day, almost daily DM me to apologize for a call they missed 6 months ago, and if I could please respond. But I have my business mentor, the guy that Niels, we've worked with for a very, very long time. When I was in my early 20s and I found my first like success and YouTube was going well and the business was going well, he was like, Leroy, there's one thing that you have to respect more than anything in the world, and it's someone's time, because that's the only thing they can never get back.
Yeah, agreed.
So never be late, never waste someone's time. Be conscious about that. That is something that I'm really good at that when it comes to business. When it comes to like, if you invite me to a birthday party, I'm going to be an hour late, minimum. Just so you know. But when it comes to business, I'm on time, always.
Yeah.
Or, some divine intervention happens and I literally cannot, because Jesus literally took the wheel for whatever reason.
Yeah, of course. But if it's like, I had the same happen with a guy that I wanted to get a service from, and it's like, I was in the middle of moving, and I just completely forgot about it. And it's like, okay, I apologize, and then he didn't actually take the call for 2 times. And I was like, okay, so then you shouldn't be like, hey, I'm angry you didn't take my call. You also missed your call twice. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should never waste someone's time. That's also why we say, like, you're either on time by 5 minutes, or the call gets canceled and you go next week and you be put on orange.
Yeah.
If it happens again, you could get towards red, because now you're not serious. It's no longer our mistake.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, what we also have, because we're using a CRM system, is like, we actually screenshot it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a screenshot over the time. And immediately when someone's like, oh yeah, but I didn't get results, isn't there not like a guarantee? It's like, no, you were lazy. Your mistake.
Yeah.
You fucked up, not us. So it's like, we just put the responsibility back to them.
Yeah.
And that works so great. That's why we're probably getting the results that we are for the clients that we have, which makes me really, really, really happy and satisfying.
No, dude, I
So,
think you should
makes
be
sense.
proud of that, because one of the things that I'm definitely personally trying to really, in my personal brand, and I'm known in the YouTube space, like everyone who is in the strategy space knows me by now. One of the
100%.
things that I'm really pushing back on is the fact, like, what is a YouTube strategist and what is a YouTube coach? And I think one of the big things is this space, like any other space, like e-com, like you had the drop shipping craze, the crypto craze. You get 20-year-olds that are going to start selling you courses because they managed to get a Lamborghini on lease.
Yeah, probably.
Whoop-de-fucking do.
Yeah.
And then these kids, and I tweeted about this actually, I think yesterday or the day before, is like, it is wild to me that there are strategists, quote unquote strategists,
Yeah.
that are advising 500 million plus net worth entrepreneurs on how they should run their business on YouTube, while they've never been in a long-term relationship, they've never had setbacks in their adult life, and they've never ran a real business themselves. Like, what are you? The only thing that you know is YouTube.
Yeah.
So what you are a glorified idea generator, and that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. If I would train a YouTube strategist, a junior, I would tell them like, hey, this is my idea generator.
Yeah.
That's not a degrading thing. It's like, hey, this person just doesn't have the scars yet to understand, like, yeah, it's easy for me. I can't name names, but for example, I once had a a person that never wanted to work with a strategist again, and he told me that. I was like, oh, I'm curious. Like, I don't want to work with you. I don't even have space right now. I was like, why? He's like, well, I've been a gaming creator now for 7 years. I love gaming. It's all I'm passionate about. And I got this one call with this strategist. I'll tell you off podcast who it was, but I can't tell it on air.
Sure.
I got this one call with this strategist, and the strategist straight up told me, like, yeah, you just need to get out of gaming. And he's like, this is literally what I live for.
Yeah.
And that is the case with a strategist that doesn't have that life experience and human connection of like understand, like, listen, this is what you want to do. If I work with you, we're gonna find a way to make this profitable. I don't care how we're gonna do this, but this is your passion, and this is the best thing that you can do in your life to make money from, because you're willing to go through a lot more pain with this than you're willing to do with a job that you hate. 100%. You're gonna give up way earlier if you don't enjoy what you're doing. Correct. And that's like the whole space is riddled with these early 20-year-olds that are trying to tell people who make millions of dollars every single month, like, you should be doing this or, putting your brand there. I shouldn't have been a strategist when I was 21. No, simply 100%. Because I didn't have the life experience, nor business experience, nor experience of...
I would have to say if you're wording it like this, there's a difference between a strategist and a coach.
Absolutely.
I would then see you more as a coach, because a coach also gives the life experience, and you're older and you're in a better position to advise on that stuff, where a strategist should be specific for just YouTube. When you train a junior, it's a strategist. When you come in a call with you and you're talking about life experience and like, hey, we're going to make this work, and you're going to build a human connection, it becomes a coach. I think that's the big difference in this.
I think there's an overlap there, and I think that's the problem where these things feed into each other, because some parts of YouTube strategy and YouTube coaching you can disconnect. So, for a good example of this is, it is easy. Anyone that watches YouTube daily can come up with a title and thumbnail that has worked on the platform before, and can probably make a viral video.
Yeah, outlier or
The problem is, and this is where coach and strategy becomes a little bit mixed, most of these 20-year-olds do not know what the implications are of a viral video now on your career in 5 years. If you now make this viral video just because it's a viral concept, that viral concept can haunt you for 5 years when it comes to like trying to build a certain audience.
Yeah, correct.
So it's like, the dice you throw now will be able to dictate what you can and cannot do in 3 years, because you're like, man, I had this one viral video, and now I have a bunch of 55-year-old women that want to do weight loss while I'm trying to cater to 18-year-olds. Because I made that video. Yeah. And I think that is a big...
Yeah, that can hurt a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing where, especially these younger guys, and like, again, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's, don't portray yourself as something that you're not yet, right?
No,
like, you do not know, if we do this now, what is the butterfly effect on that in a few years?
Then I got a great question for you.
Yeah.
You see this recent trend going viral in the YouTube automation space. I'm also making some videos where they have like a finger and they point towards a number, either the views or the money, how much money they're making. You're probably familiar with that. I actually saw a video as well doing the exact same thing in the YouTube short.
Yeah.
Do you think I should post a YouTube short in the same format? Or do you think like, hey, posting a YouTube short is going to attract a lot of younger audience and not a buying audience? It's like, I shouldn't post the content. I should just purely focus on high quality or high information, long format content. I wouldn't say it's high quality, it's like Loom videos.
Yeah.
But it's like, should I just purely focus towards that by dedicating towards the right audience, or should I try and expand my audience by also uploading some shorts in that regards?
I think it all has to do with your tolerance for work. So how much time do you have in a day to spend on your personal brand, for example?
Yeah.
If I'm looking at some of my clients that are, now up and coming, so they don't have the time to focus on, okay, let's do just like 3 shorts a day or 2 shorts a day and then repurpose that to Instagram Reels and do the long form and this and that. They just don't have the bandwidth. So then I always say like, okay, focus on the stuff that is going to move the needle the most for you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're saying like, hey, my goal is to become, if people think about YouTube automation, I want them to immediately think about my face.
No.
Then I would say, okay, we need to put systems in place as soon as possible where you're going to do shorts, you're going to do Instagram Reels, you're going to be on TikTok, you're going to be everywhere. I want your face to be everywhere so that people, so they're annoyed by seeing you, be like, oh, that's that fucking YouTube automation guy again. Yeah. Because that's how you build that brand where it's like, it becomes...
Yeah, that's where I want to go to.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop. So then I would say if you have that tolerance for the work, so you have the time, yes, do it for sure.
I've heard that I have to lock myself up in Cyprus for 6 months straight, so that's not going to be an issue at all.
No, I think like that whole concept, and I've seen this on, I think it was Instagram Reels a year ago already, where someone was like, this video got X views, and he did like with his phone like this video got X views. What do you think this video made us? This is the watch hours, and
yeah,
then,
it's a famous YouTuber. I know who you mean.
He
really
did it
famous guy. He does it a lot on Instagram. He also sells like a school community or something.
Yeah. So like I've seen that like a year or so ago. So there's always like these trends, like they come and go.
But the problem is that he's like a well-known personal brand. He has like 60 million subscribers. So you talking about posting faceless content isn't like your authority space, because yes, you've been viral, but you've been a creator, which is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
The other point is you've been on the platform since 2009. And it's like, like you cannot compare that to building up a personal brand right now, and then for sure on faceless. It doesn't have to do with each other. So I would love to see that on like a faceless brand, and then having that case study like, hey, this video made this much. But I think that's a very good one that I can definitely roll out more for Instagram and also TikTok. I really have to pick up TikTok again and like get its team behind and have someone actually in the US consistently post that content as well to build up the brand, because now you can also connect ManyChat to TikTok, so it automatically follows someone that actually comments something and then sends a message to them.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a very good place to also start up conversations right now. That's something that I learned like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so and I would say like if you would be my client, you're like, hey, my goal is to become like the face when it comes to this.
Yeah.
This word needs to be synonymous to my face. You just need to be visible.
Yeah, 100%.
And then of course you have your hero content. You know, you have like the the podcast, and you have like the high quality, showing the life and showing how you're building the businesses. That is what gets people inspired and gets them into your funnel. And then they keep seeing you. Because one of the big things that I see with some of the entrepreneurs I work with, I have guys who do 500,000 views a month on YouTube, but they make 50,000 of that, $100,000 a month from that, because they have a good funnel on the back end.
Yeah, 100%.
And with them as well, it's like, you don't know how many touch points someone needs before they take action, right?
Well, there's psychology to that. It's normally they need 7 touch points, 7 hours of content, and then they purchase.
Yeah, but it's hard to attribute, like, okay, where did it start? Especially on YouTube, like, what was the first video they watched?
We actually asked that.
Yeah, we also do that now, but it's like still, it's like murky. You don't really have the whole customer journey mapped out. Like, okay, this person watched 4 videos, because most of the time these people don't even know themselves. They're like, I think I saw you like a year ago, and then I saw another video, and then this time was like fuck it, I'm taking action.
Yeah, but sometimes you can get it very specific. So when you get it specific, hey, I can double down on that point so I can attract the same sort of audience. So we had someone who's like, I know you're legit because you only started coaching after you've already purchased your villas in Bali.
Yeah.
So that gives me a sense that you've actually made a lot of money doing this. So that's the reason that I bought in. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So guess what? I scheduled 2 tweets about real estate, how uploading faceless videos is the same as doing like real estate, but then digitally and cheaper. Yeah. But the profitability in the long end is also cheaper. So instead of investing $400,000 and getting $1,000 a month, you might invest $10,000 or $20,000 into a YouTube channel and get $4,000 a month. So that's a lot higher probability than you buying real estate. So then I made that comparison, and people are like, and then on the bottom I say like, if you want to learn more about building up a digital real estate portfolio, just reply with digital. And then you get all these people replying digital, and then you make a little bit of a story about it, attach a personal video. And now out of nowhere, that small little tweet becomes very personal. And then depending on how lucky I get, but on average, I get like 150 to 400 responses on that. Yeah. So then it's like, now you have 150 to 400 people you're talking to, as long as they respond. But then you have a VA that follows up on every single one that doesn't respond. And eventually you make a joke about it. It's like, I'm being ignored. And then it's like, people are like, stop crying. It's like, it works. I get a response.
I've been arguing with your VA a few times.
I would not be surprised without me knowing.
She started messaging me like, have you been thinking about YouTube? I was like, you need to leave me alone. You were talking to the wrong person.
I'm not surprised.
I think I responded something like, leave me alone, with a crying emoji. And they just read it and just never responded again.
Okay, good.
But I knew immediately, it's like, this is not Warner.
That's not me.
Would not have asked me that.
No. But no one had the same. No one had the same.
Oh, really?
It was like, it was actually like, dude, you know me. It's like, but are you interested in learning more about YouTube automation? I was like, that's a shitty VA response, but it was so funny when I discovered that. I was like, okay, damn, that's kind of funny. It's like all the top people started following my second page, and it's like every single person just gets like a message like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, listen, it makes a ton of sense. I think that it's also really a lot about perceived value, right? Like, if you build a personal brand, you have a good personal brand, and I've been taking it more seriously actually since this year. Like last year, I just did it when I felt like it. But this year, so far, I've been doing daily threads I'm psychotic from it. I really want to stop doing it, but I've made a deal with myself that I was going to try to do it for 6 months in a row.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to make that, but it's all about...
Can you not get a writer for it?
No.
Ghostwriter?
No. So the problem that I face with my content is that all of my threads are pretty...
Specific knowledge?
Yeah, they're specific knowledge. And it's like...
But you can also build threads. You can also split it up then. You can also do half of your threads by ghostwriter and half of them by you, but then half of what's not done from you is about you. So it's as an example, you can take this podcast and take a few segments out of it, which talks about, hey, you've been able to help the Golden Goby family.
Yeah.
And then that's a part of the thread. Like, hey, I've helped XYZ person that we've discussed here.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to write that.
No,
even better,
no.
you're not even going to do that anyways, most likely, because I don't think any of your threads really have like attached personal videos to it.
No.
Exactly. So
No.
that's the difference where a ghostwriter can take more time in order to do so.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because we're doing daily threads actually, so that's why.
Yeah, no, I'm doing daily threads. Every thread I do is about a specific type of knowledge or a frame. Like, so, like one of the things I'm building up, and this is, I haven't talked about this in public yet, but
No.
I've started writing my book. I have a publisher.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Didn't know about that.
yeah, no, I've not even talked about this publicly. So you have the scoop.
Nice. Let's go.
So I'm aiming to get that out in September. I'm writing the manuscript now, but I'm actually deepening out more about my ideal framework. So the ideal framework is a framework that I developed myself with the clients I've worked with over the past years. And all of the threads that I'm kind of doing is about a part of that framework. And teaching someone that means that I have to actually make someone a junior strategist. Be like, okay, this is like, just listen to me. Like, here's all the PDFs. So I have actually AI helping me now. It's like, okay, I just feed you everything.
Yeah,
Help me write this part of the thread, and it works pretty well.
Really well.
But still, I spend like 3-4 hours a week on the threads. I make the first graphic myself. Like, I'm just very like, I need to do it, because if I don't do it, it's not going to be good enough.
Yeah, but you can make very simple pictures as well, which helps. So what I normally do if I need a picture is I have just pictures with play buttons, because that shows authority. Very simple. Don't ask me why it's annoying, but yeah, it works.
Yeah.
And you just go to Instagram story, you just add the text there, and then you use that as a cover picture for Twitter.
Yeah,
It works amazing.
Yeah,
It's like actually one of the best converting content that we have.
Yeah, no, I could imagine. Yeah, I should just make like one with like the play buttons like laying down on the floor.
Exactly, do it. It's a stupid one, but it works.
I'll feel like such a guru. Like I don't know.
But sometimes you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
So the reason that we do as well as we do on Twitter is because I'm the only one really publicly saying, hey, I do have a course and I do have coaching.
Yeah, that's true.
And best case scenario, you don't even say it that way. Best case scenario is we have the One Cash Cow Accelerator and you have the One Cash Cow 101 Elite Coaching.
Yeah.
Like, if we don't have a course or a coaching, it's like, no, it's actually life-changing and it's transformative, which it is, but it's like, you have to word it differently, and that's like then marketing, so that becomes more of a guru part of thing.
Yeah, of course.
So that you sometimes you have to be the guru, because people know that I sell, they're like, and you said like, where we were just discussing about it, like, where do people come from? And it's like, some people actually that we give coaching come from Noah Morris, because Noah Morris doesn't give coaching, and I'm the only one publicly talking about the coaching. So I'm like, just because I'm saying that I do coaching and that I can help people that are already doing 10,000 a month or doing 30,000 a month, I can actually get a lot of new customers in the door, because I'm the only one saying, hey, if you want to help to go to the next level, like, we have systems, we have really in-depth systems where you can literally do a tag in Discord, which is like add scriptwriter, and you just talk to the scriptwriter. You don't even have to know their names.
Yeah.
And we have that set up with Trello and with Zapier, so everything's fully automated.
Yeah.
I cannot give you one coach, because I have access to most programs. I cannot give you a single coach that does that.
Yeah.
We don't have it in our program, but we have it in our coaching, where it's like, hey, you need to go to the next level. We can help you with that. We can help you outsource, build new channels, and go further, and most likely also do a lot of cut pricing, which I normally always say, like, people are always like, you have to make more money with coaching. But like, why?
Yeah.
We literally managed for one client to go from $150 a video to $25.
Yeah,
That's $125 for 2 days.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you make your money back.
Yeah.
Call number one.
Yeah.
Done. That's it. But it's not in the way that you want it. You want more money.
Yeah, of course.
But we just saved you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different perspective of how you're actually going to look at that.
Yeah.
Which gives a big breakthrough. But let's go back to the subject of YouTube. So let's say someone, in this case faceless, because that's what I do, has to start like a high quality brand. What would you recommend them? What would you suggest to them? And where should they pay attention to?
Yeah, so I think one of the big things is that has overlap with a personality channel is, again, a brand. If you want to build something that people remember, you need to stand for something. Now, I'm not saying that means you have to be, an extremist in any way, shape, or form, but you need to be known for something. And nowadays, a big, not a mistake, but it is kind of a mistake that I see a lot of people make. It's like, okay, what I'm going to do, listen to me. This is going to be innovative, what I'm saying to you right now, Warner. I'm going to start a documentary channel about heists and criminal stuff, but with 3D. Absolute cinema. That's what I'm doing. We have Fern, we have Hoog, that is not innovative. They are known because they were one of the first movers and pushers with that.
Yeah.
If you want to be known for something, you need to be known for something else. You can do, it's like the same mistake that people made when Magnates was up and coming. Yeah. Everyone was like looking for editor that can do Magnates media style.
Yep.
No, then that's it.
Yep.
And the problem is, like, if you want to start a faceless brand, ensure that before you even start thinking about videos and what it's going to be about, like, think about that brand as a person. Who is this person? And just write it out.
Because Fern feels like a person.
Yeah, like just write out, like, what does this brand like? What don't they like? What does this brand stand for? What does it hate?
Yeah.
And stick to that. If that means that in some, of your videos, whatever, like, it can be faceless cooking videos. I don't care for crying out loud. But if it's like, I am a faceless cooking channel and you just see my fingers, I can make a recurring joke where it's like, every time we do a meat video, I start with a vegan option and then I throw it off the plate and I do like this to the camera because you can only see my hands. And it's like, no vegan on this channel.
Yeah.
Like, people might hate you. The vegans are like, what? This is wrong.
Yeah, but it gives you viewers.
You have viewers who are like, I like meat. I love this channel.
Yeah.
They love you more because you stand for something that they love. And I think one of the big differences between a faceless automation channel and a faceless brand is that it stands for something. Yeah. And it's no different from Nike. If you think about Nike, you think about just do it. You think about athletes, young people that chase their dreams, and you think about a certain thing. If you think about Apple, you think about, challenging the status quo. We're doing things differently. We're not pioneers. We just make things better.
Yeah.
Think about your faceless brand the same way. Just take way more time on the front end to really like deepen out this brand. What does it stand for? And then once you have all that, you have this person made, this fictional person. It can be literally a copy of who you actually are in real life.
Of course.
Once you have that, then you start looking at, okay, what formats can I make that attach to that brand and that will help me build up a core fan base? Because that is where I think most of the faceless creators struggle. They can get views, but they struggle converting those viewers into fans.
Yeah, I agree. Because a lot of people can watch content, but not consistently watch content. But when I have lunch and there's a new video of Fern or Hoag or whatever, I watch it.
Yeah, because you also have it kind of like you see that thumbnail, like, oh, this is probably going to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
100%. Because it's like the 3D cell with like the blue and the red. Yeah. And the same with like a channel like Cypher. That's actually in the criminal space.
Yeah.
In the same sort of style that they're doing. But then it's also like when you want to go viral, you have to look for concepts which are not done yet in another area, which is actually one of the things that we wanted to do, but haven't found the right people for it. I actually contacted Cypher for that. It's like if it's like an agency or something to work.
You contacted Reese or?
Yeah, Reese, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, he's the owner of Cyber, so that's why. So I actually contacted him because I want to transform that concept into history. Because nobody's doing history. So you can do like a conspiracy where, I don't know, you zoom into the bunker and you see Hitler and you see a gun and then it's like, and it doesn't click. And then you actually see him being transported on the ship into Argentina.
Oh,
and then it goes into like the conspiracy.
Yeah.
So you have the first 1.5 minute, 2 minutes, which is completely 3D animated.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go into more B-roll content and then telling into the story. But because that concept of the thumbnail doesn't exist in history yet.
Yeah.
So it could immediately be a viral thing. So that's like what you also said with like close versus far niching. That's how you can do close versus far niching.
Yeah.
You're taking a concept which works in military because you have the channel that does like the Black Hawk and like the military stuff in the animations. Then you have Fern, Hoag, Neo. Anything else? Cypher?
Let me know, kind of.
Yes, sort of.
Really upload.
Yeah, so you have like 6 people doing it, 6-7 people.
Successfully.
Like, successfully, yeah. But if you're not doing it successfully, normally it's like quality based. So if you do that for history, nobody's doing that. That's a free go. Can you take that into other concepts? Not a lot, but you have history. You could not really do it for space. Doesn't make sense. You could do it for conspiracies. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
So it's a topic that I definitely love. So
I can
not
see you
surprised.
working on that channel too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Like
I would
late
love-
nights, like start smoking. Or
No, I actually,
sitting there with a typewriter.
I actually have a couple shorts which costed $400 per video.
Mm.
Just never uploaded them because I'm like, might risk some of my other channels with uploading their content.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, so now that's why I want to do history, and then also
Yeah.
have it like the channel's going to be called conspiracy with a question mark, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and so I think one of the big things that I would want to, if there's anything you take from this podcast as a faceless creator, it's now, the whole, the new rage is, 3D content. And like, if you start with the brand and you start figuring out what you want your brand to be and for who that brand is before you even start making videos, don't, like, a lot of people start with like, I want to make 3D because that's now popular. But that means that sometimes you're trying to fit a triangle in a circle hole. Like, you're
100%.
so many people do that. It's like, I can give you so many examples of quote unquote innovative channels that didn't follow a trend but still found their voice. Like, it's the same as the that, like, I think it's now over a year ago that became popular, was like Why It Sucks to Be, like that format, Be Born As.
Yeah,
and it was like just like shitty paint.
easy, simple.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Yeah, like, shitty paint drawings, and it's just like funny content. The script is good, and it's a style. Like, it was a mash, like a mixed mash of several different other formats that did well, and they made their own working format out of that bionic puppet. It's like, okay, that works. That's great. And I think a lot of faceless creators need to take that step back, be like, okay, if we first work on the brand, now it's not like, okay, how can we now attach 3D to it? No. Go back to the brand. Like, what makes sense to do with this brand? Well, this brand is for young teenagers. It's boisterous. It's a bit like on the nose, and it's a bit left or right leaning jokes. Okay.
Yeah.
What do teens like? They don't give a crap about 3D. They just want to have content that they find funny. You can literally make Canva animations, and that could get millions and millions of views, and you could make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But the advanced part of this equation is knowing what fits what brand. If I'm building this brand, do I need 3D? Probably not.
No, but that's also one thing. Like, we're talking in this case about quality brands that are faceless. But when we talk about faceless content for people, it's very stupid content. It's just content that fits certain criteria.
Yeah.
We want channels that preferably get over 1 million views per month, preferably longer videos so they can get $10 plus RPMs, which means that you get a success case story of someone doing $10,000 plus a month.
Yeah.
That's the criteria. So it's like you have mega construction, you have mega wood thing with the fake AI images with like a fucking huge tree falling on a house. And then there's like, you clearly see it's fake, like women being like, ah! And it's like, literally the guy uploads it, first video, 60,000 views. There you go. That's a success story.
You know what my favorite is? I'm actually curious if you have students doing this niche.
Sure.
My favorite is the kitty AI stories. That
we have them. Yeah, we actually have them. We also have the one with all the parasites on top of them. We have quite a few students in that. We had one student doing 22 million views last month.
That is insane.
RPM sucks though.
Yeah, I can imagine, but it's like,
RPM
it's just
is
so
under $1.
like, I can look at like those kind of videos like, who watches this?
Meow,
I'm
meow,
so
meow, 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 meow,
so
meow, meow,
confused.
meow.
like looking at that content like, who watches this? Like, there's no one that watches this, right?
You know, that's very stupid because when I see it on shorts, I actually end up watching the whole fucking thing. Because then it's like a kitty that's like fucking cheating on his fitness trainer with the guy.
What are we
And it's like,
talking
what the
about?
fuck is it? And the only thing that's kept screaming is like, meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, no, I was really curious if you had people.
Yeah,
but
no,
okay, you have people.
I know 3 out of the top of my head. So
Okay,
yeah, no, we actually have quite a few people in
Yeah.
there. And that's only that, but because you change the concept also into like other stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like more of storytelling part, but not with the meow 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 song, but it's like with you had the one with the ice bears where it's like with all full of parasites and
Mega
sickness.
shark.
And mega shark and penguins, dolphins. Dolphin went really viral, got 8.5 million views on a video. And then the second best video is like 30,000 views. Really funny how that works.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a lot of people doing those concepts as well. It's like more advanced AI.
Yeah.
But you can get those videos kind of cheap as well. But the RPM is just really low. Like I said, like you can do it. We market, so it's like same with the colors. We also mark niches in colors. Like red means like here, there's more complications to it than you think. Or it's like it's channels with a face, so you cannot really do it unless you hire a presenter.
Yeah.
So no option. So then it's like orange is like this one where it's like, hey, listen, you just need to get one viral video. But if you don't get that viral video, you're just gonna waste a lot of money and a lot of time on this. Whereas like yes, it sort of hits the criteria because it does get over 1 million views. It doesn't get like a $10 RPM, but if you would remove the filter to 10 million views plus per month, you actually have quite a few channels doing that, purely on long format, not even shorts included. And then it's like, okay, you can hit this even with a $1 RPM. You're still going to be able to hit this, but it's going to be quite complicated, and it's a trend. There's a high possibility of this completely dying out in 2 or 3 months, which means you might make a quick buck, but you're not going to learn much from it.
Yeah.
I'd rather have you do proper YouTube automation, which is mega construction or nature disasters or car crashes or anything in that regards, or royal guards that was hugely famous recently, and then transforming those concepts also into AI stories. So royal guards, AI stories, the racist stories, the cop stories, the body cam stories, the naughty stories that we actually mark as red because you can get your channel terminated, which is going to give you long-term complications. But that's also what we explained. And like, hey, listen, you can do this. Yes, this makes over 10K a month. I had such a channel, was making 18 grand a month, but it got terminated. Why? Well, if you're going to put in your thumbnails and in your titles, that's the Hufflepuff sister wants a big fat Hufflepuff in her, then yeah, you're going to get quite easily flagged. So that's a high risk. And if you get one channel terminated, you might end up getting a lot more channels terminated, which recently actually happened to Noah Morris as well. You get one channel terminated, ended up terminating 8 channels. So then you have to start from scratch. I had the same happen in May last year. I had about 70-ish channels getting terminated out of nowhere. First time I had such a big, massive wave. And it's like, okay, so I don't have to do this stuff anymore. I have to play it a lot safer with a lot more broad niches and just do more general testing and then singing out like, how is that algorithm shifting? It looks like right now it takes a lot longer to go viral. You have this initial push, then it dies down, and then it takes about 40, 45 days to really pick up again. That's normally the trend that we see, also with the quiz videos, with Islamic videos, and all the other content that we're uploading right now. So that changes a lot and shifts a lot. And I think people shouldn't fixate on, I want to do the best quality. We actually have one person that actually wanted to become a success coach, but didn't have success yet. And he was doing amazing videos, like pretty much on par with Magnus Media's level. But yet he didn't have success. So it's like, it isn't always about getting the fanciest quality, about getting the best stuff. Like the Loom videos are right now, Wonder Academy is doing way better than Wonder is, as an example. And Wonder is like high quality curated videos with scripted stuff. And Wonder Academy is just me sitting behind my desk and just yabbing. Nothing else. Like I could literally, I don't know if I can, I could literally pick this up in a little bit and I could literally just talk a little bit of shit and just move around a little bit and make it a lot more general than like a high quality podcast. So it's like, everything is like different. I mean, it's like, is it lazy and me sitting up front? This is like a very nice discussion and good conversation. But if I'm going to sit like this and I'm going to go all the way under, it's going to be like, let's just chill and talk a little bit. It's going to be a completely different vibe to the content that you're pushing out. And that's also what Wonder Academy does. Wonder Academy is like a lot more focused on like really information. And then Wonder is just focused on vlogging and lifestyle and that kind of content. So it makes a lot of difference. It's like you're trying to hit every corner where if you don't do lifestyle at all, people don't believe you. Very stupid how that works. I actually had this hate comment. Have you seen that video where they try exposing me in the Dutch YouTube scene?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah,
I was like, this is amazing. I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
What was the name of the guy again?
I don't know.
I don't remember what his name. Was it Egbert?
Egbert. Yes.
Yeah. I actually every now and then I get like his video in my recommended, and sometimes I watch them because I think he's like pretty funny. He's a funny dude. I absolutely think he makes great videos, but I think that's the problem where you get clumped in with everyone,
a lot of shit.
You know, like all the bad actors in the space, and I understand it from his perspective, but it also
it's a great way to make fun of someone. But the problem is well that he didn't have really any concrete points. Like if you have concrete points, then it makes sense, like for sure to expose someone and then rightfully go so ahead. And it's really funny because there was actually a study done on emojis having influence on videos. And I was fucking spot on because they're like, what the fuck does Samsung emoji or iPhone emoji make a difference? It makes all the difference. It's insane. The RPM is almost double on like people using iPhone emojis compared to Samsung emojis in their videos. Because it attracts a lot more childish audience. So the number one thing to attract a younger audience is having emojis included in your title. So if you want to avoid that, it also avoids getting easier flagged for marketers for kids. So it's like, it's funny how 3 months later, there's a study done on YouTube focused on emojis being implemented in videos, in titles, and in devices, that actually gives the result exactly what I said. And it's so funny. Like I was upfront in that because it just makes psychology, what you also said, like psychology is very important. It makes psychology sense because Samsung people don't buy an iPhone because an iPhone is most likely too expensive. And iPhone is part of an ecosystem, so it costs more money because everything has to be iPhone now, or everything has to be Apple. Samsung doesn't have that. So it's like, you know that Samsung doesn't have as much money as iPhone does. And where is Samsung mostly used? Not in the Netherlands. I think
No.
every single person, including a cameraman and everyone else here, has an iPhone.
Yeah,
Probably not a Samsung device or a Google device. But if you go, let's say I go to the office in Indonesia, every single person there, besides one or two, all have Samsungs.
Yeah.
I think 10 or 20% have iPhone.
Yeah.
Because it's just too expensive for them.
Yeah, but I'm curious. So we talked a little bit about the guru space and how that's hurting overall, like the whole space. But
No, you always
Do
got bad
you-
apples.
yeah, but like so of course I know you. Like
Yeah.
I've seen your businesses and I know you've been on YouTube very long. Like you are one of the few, I would say, 3 or 4 people that I know in the world that actually live the thing that they're now teaching.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I had one successful channel, quote unquote successful. They had a few $10,000 months, and now they're selling coaching and whatever courses. And
Yeah.
do you like? How did you perceive like that video of that guy, quote unquote? He didn't really expose you because
No,
there
he
was
just made a
no,
little bit of fun about me being in Bali and having a sweatshop.
yeah.
I said it's kind of disrupting as well because technically speaking, he's calling the people that work in Bali for me slaves. That's
Yeah.
kind of the point that he made.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we pay 3 times the minimum wage.
Yeah.
I just had actually a tweet about it. I still have to respond to it.
Mm.
Some guys like, just please pay them fair wage. I was like, I would save a lot of money if I paid them fair wage because that would be like 3 times as cheap for me. So
Yeah.
I'm paying them pretty well, but it's also because we're trying to learn them stuff, and we're also dubbing my program into Indonesia so that every single person in the office can also follow it, so they get a better understanding and a better teaching way
Yeah.
of it. But that costs a lot of money again. So
Yeah.
there's consistent improvements being made there as well. But how I perceive the value, honestly, I just laughed. I said to the dude, it's a good video, but then I said like the emoji part is actually completely true because if you compare the amount of users that
Yeah.
live in like Asia and how many iPhones are there compared to Samsungs, and you compare it to the Western world, it's just a very basic understanding of where the
Yeah, I
is
get
coming
that.
from.
So I think I would personally be annoyed because like he kind of clumped you in with some other people in that
Yeah,
video. That's like, okay, like
Yeah,
I
a
could
lot of
even
shit
see
on
like
this.
I don't know the other people personally,
I
but
didn't know
I
them
know
either.
for a fact that they cannot even tie your shoelaces when it comes to like
Yeah.
experience on the platform. And you could
but the funny thing is, I've been a Dutch YouTuber as well, so I understand the points and
Yeah.
content. And one part of me was like, I should probably make a reaction video to it, and just on my Dutch channel. Like, I could milk his audience and be like, I know this is actually true because of XYZ study. This is like the underground. And it's like,
Yeah.
you're not completely right. And it's like, oh, you don't have successful YouTube channels. Well, here's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels of mine
Yeah.
that are making money. So yeah, who's having the last laugh now? Like, I even have a Dutch channel right now called Quizbuy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 700 subs. It's not doing as amazing. It's doing like 1,000, 2,000 views a day. It was doing like 5,000, but I hope it's going to get a viral video. But the Dutch audience is very small.
Yeah,
And it's also targeted towards kids. So I'm very curious if it's going to do well, because when I look at like other Dutch channels, like from 5 Minute Crafts as an example, the Dutch version and stuff, they actually get pretty great views. They get like 10 million views a month.
Yeah.
So there is a great opportunity to still jump into that. But they have like 1.5K videos online.
It's
And I have
actually like
20.
I get a question a lot. I got this question like a few months ago when I do a speaking for like big television networks and stuff because
Yeah.
they are like, we do not understand YouTube. Let's try and understand. Okay, who can we get? Okay, that guy seems like he's knowledgeable, and then they come up
Yeah.
to me. So I do also do this for like the NPO, like Nederlands Publieke Omroep. And I was there. I was with them a few months ago, and they were like, yeah, "So why don't you like work with like some of the bigger creators in the Netherlands?" I was like, "Well, because it doesn't make sense for them. Because the biggest creators in the Netherlands are vloggers.
Yeah,
They don't need a strategist.
they don't.
They just need to
But they
film their
could.
life."
Yeah.
And they they make, like, quite frankly, like the bigger guys, like talking about Geo and those kind of
Yeah.
guys, they make the same amount of money as I make per month. Like, it makes no sense for them to work with me and vice versa. So it's like the market is just too small. Plus,
wise, yeah, but products wise, like Ansel Knoll does over 100K a month just from his clothing line. So
yeah, no, of course, like Enzo, but again, like there's not really a strategy there. Like his
No.
strategy is more.
his
like,
strategy
he
is,
needs to
I
just-
vlog. This is my life.
Yeah,
You think I'm cool?
show.
I have products.
Yeah,
Hey, I go on skiing, but we now release our ski leggings,
Yeah.
Ansel Knoll power, and it's like
yeah.
that's your selling point. But which makes sense. I always wonder how Geo actually made as much money as he did.
I think it's a lot of backlog. I think that's definitely like his AdSense backlog, like just
Yeah.
videos, old videos doing really well. Like, don't forget, like he has like years and years worth.
How many
of content.
videos does he have online?
I don't even know, but
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a couple thousand actually.
could be. I don't know, but for like if I just look at like the general Dutch market, like that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about moving to the US is because my clients are just not here. You know, the only clients that I have here in the Netherlands are incidental, you know, brands.
Yeah, or me.
Brands that have of course. But you're also like
I'm also
not here most of the time.
Most of the time, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, technically, I'm here like 1 month a year.
Yeah,
and,
it's like,
and the rest of them gone.
Yeah, but that's going to change after next year. Then you're going to be a lot more in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so I'm going to do another year of Cyprus just to make sure everything works out. I might actually do 2 years because the tax stuff makes a lot of sense to do. So yeah, I'm actually looking. Gio actually had 3.1 thousand views. 3.1k videos.
Yeah, so I think like it's a lot of backlog there, and like he had his merch, of course, that he merch. Like that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, especially where we're from. And this might not be as interesting for some people because we're now specifically talking Netherlands, but the Netherlands in terms of like YouTube is just like a few years behind the US. Like it's for me, sometimes it's so frustrating that we. I come up with a format with a client in the US, and then I see like guys like what's his face, Stefan de Vries. I see him take the format. It's like, God damn it! I'm like sitting at home. I'm like watching TV. I'm like checking YouTube. It's like, hey, I made that format.
Yeah, I literally got yesterday.
They took my format.
But it makes sense because the US is more innovative, and if you're working in that industry, is later coming to the Netherlands. It's the same as the bunk sitters. Yeah, it's a really great example. So you have the Sidemen. It's a little straight up copy from the Sidemen with cheaper productions, to be honest. They're not doing like these whole expensive holidays and going away, but they're doing the 1 hour plus videos of specific content types, and it's like it's almost the same, just slightly different and just different people. Yeah, but the concept is the exact same.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. But if we're talking about like, for you, it makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of, I think in YouTube automation, there's so many Dutch people for some odd reason that do YouTube automation compared to the rest of the world. Like, I don't know why, but
it's insane. It's like if you look online and like coaching stuff, we do like 50%. I
think it's in our genes or something.
Netherlands. It's nice.
So I don't know like why, but it's like a lot of Dutch people do automation, but like for you, so the Dutch market makes a lot of sense. For me, like there's nothing here for me. Like I can. The biggest creators here in the Netherlands do the numbers of the smallest creators that I work with. So it's like, for me, it's like,
But if I compare like the Kobe family, are you able to tell the revenue of theirs? Because it's on your Twitter, to be honest.
Yeah, but I've never shared revenue. But I can say
there's a revenue picture. I've seen it.
No,
there's 50K.
Yeah, but that was not from the Golden Kobe family.
Oh, I thought it was from them.
Or was it?
I think it was.
Yeah, I think the
RPM which you showed me before lined up.
I think you've mixed and matched yourself in your head, like, oh, this is probably the Golden Kobe family. And
if I trace it back with the peak, it's the exact same peak when the video. And
might be. I'm not saying
Might
anything. I'm not saying numbers, but let's just say that their RPM is insanely high, and they do. They came to me when they did $9,000-$10,000 in AdSense a month.
Yeah.
Let's just say that right now they do yearly salaries in a month.
Yeah.
So it's like the RPM is crazy high for them. They have.
What's the average view duration on that? Like 9 minutes, I guess. 10 minutes?
Depends because we're now going to a little bit longer format.
Makes sense. I would do that as well. 25 minutes.
Yeah, but there's an interesting thing happening that I'm still trying to kind of figure out or like get some concrete evidence on, because what we see happening, and this is a big reason of why the RPM is high, is that a lot of our 10 to 14 minute videos get put into Google search, not YouTube search traffic, but if you would. Anywhere in the world, you would, go to google.com and do golden retriever.
Yeah, you're gonna show
our video would be like one of the first 5 videos to show up, our recent video.
That's insane.
So that's where the RPM goes up quite a bit, but we haven't been able to get that result with longer videos. So I'm trying to figure out like where's that cutoff point and why is that cutoff
I would also
point
look
there?
at like where the viewers are coming from, because if it's Google, your most audience viewers would be mobile phone, but I would look at like where your audience actually comes from, because YouTube released it in Q4 2024 for the first time ever in the US. Is more TV viewers and mobile viewers. Yeah. So uploading 4K quality is more important than ever because people like more sharper content. And actually, I do see it a lot on the YouTube homepage when I'm looking on my TV. I did like a 1.5 hour research session on my TV. Is that 4K content actually does get pushed out quite a bit harder than just normal content, which usually didn't used to be the case. You could even upload 720p content and it would be good enough. Yeah. 1080p, 60 FPS is the standard. Yeah. But 40K is now doing a lot better. So it's like, I would look at that point as well from a data perspective.
Yeah, no, that's like one. I can't,
because if it's like equal between phone and TV, I would probably because TV people watch a lot longer, because then you have to think of how long is a lunch break.
Yeah, but there's more nuance to it for this channel. I can't reveal all the information, but
Makes sense.
also their audience is older.
Yeah.
Let's just say that I don't think a lot of their audience is still on lunch breaks, and if they are, it's because they want to be on lunch break. And actually, quite a few of their viewership is also on computer, so it's not even mobile. It's like physically
Really?
sitting at the computer. So it's
Wow.
high, it's way higher than average for like most clients that I work with.
No, that
so
makes sense.
so they're an outlier in a lot of ways in terms
Yeah.
of data, but
I'm
it
curious to
also
understand it.
yeah, no, I can off podcast. I can show you. I can show you the channel. You can dive
Sure.
into data. You know,
I would
that's all
love
fine.
to. I'm very curious to like TV data compared to computer.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
for sure.
We can compare it to some of my channels as well.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's all good. But for me, like the first goal with them was to get them to. I think they're now doing like between 4 and 6 million views. And when they came to me, it was like 1.4, and they did like
So
10K. So you
Yeah,
know,
so 4 or 5x.
yeah. So in like a few months. So that's like really happy with that. But now the next step is getting them an actual like getting the money off platform. So
Yeah.
making sure that they're not reliant on AdSense and they're more reliant on their own business. So that's the next step. So
100% makes sense. But you have to do things in parts. Like sometimes I move too fast as well.
Yeah, no,
Also
yeah,
with
absolutely.
coaching and also
Yeah.
with like just general business in itself. Like I just have to go ahead and lock myself up for a couple months, just grind it out again, and then do another body transformation, get myself back in shape, and then keep going with it. But yeah, I'm excited to see how everything goes. I'm also very curious. So we talked about faceless content, we talked about brands. Is there anything else you really want to give to the viewers that you're like, hey, I think this could be for great extra value? Like where do people have to get started, as an example, with like YouTube automation or YouTube in general?
Okay, so one of the big things that so every few months I open up my calendar to free calls for one day. So I just want to meet like my followers, meet like
Yeah.
what they're struggling with, what type of channels they're running, and also to get an idea of like, hey, what the people that can't afford to work with me, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I keep seeing, and this is also it's a byproduct of the guru era of people showing lavish lifestyles, helicopters, Lamborghinis, and yachts, and beautiful women or men, whatever you're into. One of the byproducts is that a lot of people think, okay, I started this channel. It's like, okay, why? Well, because I heard it's the most profitable. I was like, okay, stop. Just
Yeah.
fucking stop. Like, stop. Whatever you're doing right now, just stop it.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy making videos? Some of them are like, no. So you want just the yeah, okay, like you're doing this for the outcome. I don't think you're ever going to come to the outcome that you want because you're not enjoying the process.
Yeah.
It's the same as if I would say now, like I'm really into martial arts. Like I love kickboxing. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu now. I love the process. I hate feeling like a beginner because I'm not used to it anymore.
Yeah.
But I love like the process of like, hey, I feel like I'm getting stronger. I feel like I'm getting faster. I feel like I'm understanding, certain combos better and seeing them fly to my face. You need to, in some way, you need to love what you're doing. And if you are getting into YouTube automation because you got sold on the pipe dream, like, okay, this is going to make me rich and I'm going to retire my family and I'm going to buy my dream home. And there's no thought in your brain. It's like, oh, and I get to make videos. If that is not
good, yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy a course. Don't even start. Don't even make a YouTube channel. One of the big things that I say, and that's why I always go back to unfair advantages, even if you are, let's say you are a little bit scared or nervous about like the video making process because you have new experience, just do it on a topic that you love.
Yeah.
If you do it on a topic that you love, you will go way further. You will learn a lot more because you're like, you're coming home from work, you're excited because you get to make another. I have a friend like this, like one of my best friends, Ruben. He wanted to do something with YouTube. I was like, Ruben, you literally know everything there is about World War II. You're a World War II nerd.
Yeah.
Like I can give you a date and you're like, oh, that's when that battle happened, or that person from that political party did this. I was like, insane.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to do YouTube, do it about
Stuff
that.
history, yeah.
But it's like, isn't like the RPMs are crap, right? It's like, don't even look at that, because what you will do is you will be excited when you come back from, like, he has multiple businesses. He sold multiple restaurants. Like, this guy's good. You'll come home from from one of your nightclubs and be like, oh man, I'm gonna write about Operation Barbarossa today. Let's go. You're excited. You're excited to write that script and to figure it out, and you will go way further because at some point you will have uploaded 100 videos. You will understand the nuances of YouTube way more because you get feedback. That's the great thing about YouTube. You upload something and within a month or two you get feedback. It's like, okay, this video got no views. I probably missed something, or I probably did something wrong. let me reverse engineer what I might have missed.
Yeah.
If you are like really infatuated with a topic, make a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it.
But I have the same, like, I'm getting a lot of enjoyment from One Hour Academy. Sometimes I just struggle with the amount of topics that I can cover.
Yeah, of course.
Because I
have that on Twitter. Even.
Yeah,
like, how can I say the same thing again but different?
Yeah, same. I could make another video like, this is why I made 600K, instead of having like, this channel made 600K.
Yeah.
Like, why did it make? So you can change it slightly and then make sort of the same video. But I'm like, yeah. I have to check what I'm actually going to do. Like, I'm publishing a video of how I got a channel from $0 to $400 a day in 2 days. So that's going to go live probably today as well.
Nice.
Another thing is, like you said, like happiness and making content about the stuff you enjoy. That's what I always used to do before I actually started making money.
There you go.
So I started with RuneScape videos. Why? Because I was a RuneScape addict.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make money in RuneScape, so I made videos about how to make money in RuneScape. Then I went to Minecraft Hunger Games because I was pretty good at it and was making videos about it. But I always had this funny screamers like, ah! And then people just loved it. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so I got a little bit known for that, the best gamer NL, and made content about that. Later on, I did Pokemon Go. And then I actually, because I was making a little bit of money from YouTube at a very young age, you had this like 14, 15, 16-year-old going to different places in different cities, making actual videos about catching certain Pokemons and walking around after school times, and then going back and then making the video and then uploading it the next day. That's what I was doing, and that eventually made even more money than I was doing, like $3,000, $4,000 a month as like a 14, 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And then that's turned into like, hey, I can also just take other people's content, just ask for permission in the comments, make top 5 and top 10 Minecraft animations from it. And then that blew up. And then out of nowhere, I was making $20,000 plus a month. And it's like, holy shit, this is actually like a whole business model. And then you get some rules, YouTube applies changes. But in the beginning, everything was free game. You wanted to monetize your channel day one, done.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard to do so. Or you had like 1,000 views that you needed to get. It was like ridiculously easy.
Yeah, but I think like that is the whole point, where like you went through an evolution of, I just want to make videos and I like video games, and you kind of like tinkered, on that model car in your shed because you loved it, and at some point that became a business. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's great. But if the biggest piece of advice that I give to anyone, I even see this sometimes with personality creators, it's kind of nuts. If you start because you just want the fame or the riches,
it's not gonna work. Yeah,
just stop. You're never gonna get there.
Then I'm curious about your thought about this, because I actually talked with another coach as well. Actually, the coach that is my coach. Very funny. He's selling most of his businesses. He's selling most of the stuff off just because he wants to get children, play League of Legends, and work out.
Yeah.
And that's it. So I have a lot of respect for that. For my thing as well, is like, I would probably enjoy life a lot more if I was just to do League of Legends streams, become ridiculously good again. Because I hit rank 1 in season 7 in Europe. And I can consistently hit masters within 60 games, 70 games with a brand new account. So that's like 85% win rate, 85, 98%. So it's pretty high level. I wouldn't say I'm probably going to get that right now again, because I haven't started the game in 2 years. But I can probably get that quite soon, because it's once again understanding psychology, how to move, where to look.
Yeah, it's like
how to
bike
myself. Yeah, exactly. It just becomes fucking mind game. It's like it's like numbing.
Yeah.
I have the bad addiction as well with blackjack. Like I can do proper card counting.
Oh, really?
Yes, I can. But in the Netherlands, you cannot with the machines.
Oh,
that they use, the shuffle machines. But I can do.
Isn't it like illegal to say that you know that or something?
No, it's not illegal. It's completely legal.
Casino now in America is like, okay, we see Warner Arts.
Yep, that's gonna be
no entry.
No, I actually want to go to Vegas also with quite a bit of money and see how much I can make. Because right now, last month on average, I'm making like $800 an hour doing blackjack.
Really?
Yeah, I'm doing really well.
Dude, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm up $8,000 last month.
So you're telling me I should become a gambling addict? That's kind of
absolutely not.
Okay.
But you should enable gambling ads. It's gonna make you more money. It's gonna make you more money.
Yeah. Okay. But so where are you going with this? Like your question?
Yeah.
Is
my question is actually like when I want to become like a Twitch streamer or like going towards like completely going League of Legends. Do you then think that it is a bad thing to want to become famous? Because I'm doing it sort of to become famous, but also at the same time, League of Legends is really my enjoyment, and it allows me to take my mind off work.
No, but I don't think inherently it's wrong to have a desire to become famous. I think we all at some point as a kid, maybe like for other people here in the room as well. I remember I grew up with like when you had the Kids' Choice Awards and that kind of stuff. And I came up in the time where I was like standing on my bed and I was like imagining that I was like performing for those kids. I had like the Pokemon theme song on, and then it was like like the Fox Kids time,
Lovely.
So I think inherently, like everyone has that, they go through this fantasy loophole of like, what would it be like to be famous? Like, like picturing yourself, like, I kind of did that with my band, but I had like no fame, but like a lot of crowd. So there was the perfect marriage. But I think everyone has that. I don't think it's inherently bad to want to become famous. But if you are not passionate about the journey of becoming famous, like, hey,
Yeah, for me, it would be like,
I am infatuated by, doing League of Legends, and that fame is a nice byproduct that I want to have as well. That's fine. But if you want to become famous, you either become Kim Kardashian or you become like the weird guy under the bridge that is like, I'm famous. Like,
Got a leak of sex tape.
I'm just can't help you with that. But, there's probably other strategists.
No, just kidding.
No, but I think there's nothing wrong with like wanting to become famous.
No, okay.
But I think the problem for you is going to be like if you would do that, you would get bored at some point because you are too addicted to growth. I think your problem is that at some point you cap out, right? Like you're going to be the biggest League of Legends player in the world, but at some point you're going to cap out, and you are the type of person that was
nice.
Sorry, you saw
that?
that?
I saw that. It was a nice catch.
You're the type of person that then at some point is like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit your personality. I think you created a monster. I think that's what you did. You created yourself as a monster, like scale. I want to scale. I've tried the scaling thing. For me, it was like, okay, I have 45 people staff. No, never again.
Yeah.
But for me now, like, I make well over comfortable levels of money right now.
Yeah.
I'm alone. I just have my personal assistant. I have my junior strategist that I'm training up, and that's it. I don't need anything else. I don't care about scale. I care about, I want to write my book.
Yeah.
I want to be able by the end of this year to say I'm a best-selling author just because it's cool. Like it's, it's a
nice.
kid's dream.
I'll buy 20 copies for you.
There we go.
Perfect.
There you go.
I'll have my family
I'm
buy
pretty
a few
sure.
as well.
Sorry?
I'll have my family buy a few. I'll buy it for every single one of my staff members.
There we go.
Because it's really easy to go to a bestseller. You only need to like 100 sales. I know actually people that just buy 100 books themselves. And
I have a great publisher that's helping me with this, that know all the tactics to get Amazon bestseller. It's not hard. Actually, if you want to write a book, you want to become Amazon bestseller, it's not that hard. Just the only thing you need is money.
But that's the same whereas like when people are like, oh, I'm featured in Forbes, I'm featured in entrepreneur.com. I'm like, okay, so you spent $4.5 grand.
Yeah, you just...
What the fuck is your authority?
Yeah, no.
Like when you have like an in-person interview, then you probably have to pay a lot more.
Yeah.
Or you actually genuinely get it. Like then it's more believable. I want to show you some stuff because I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So this is the multi-language brand that we're looking at. So for the people that don't know what I'm showing, this is like the quiz.
Are you showing a screenshot on screen?
No, probably not. Maybe I am. Maybe I'll add it a little bit later. I'll actually take one. So right now, this is the Polish channel.
Polish?
Yeah, so this is Polish. So this is just starting to blow up, and you can see the amount of videos that we've published. So besides scheduling, so everything is open. So it's 3, 6, 7 videos right now.
Yeah.
And right now it's doing about 1.4K views a day.
Okay.
Now it's still going up. So that within 5, 6 videos is not bad. Like we're getting 200 views per hour.
Okay.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you the thought process of like why I'm doing this and how the multi-language stuff actually works. So with this kind of content, it's like Polish works very well because Polish actually are still getting a lot of children. This content is targeted towards children.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, Polish actually have 66 million people living there.
Yeah.
So the audience is 4 times as wide. And the average earning income of Poland, the RPM, doesn't actually change much from the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So it has 4 times the audience and almost the same money. Now I'm going to show you the fun part, which I'm definitely not going to show on screen. These are all the channels that we're currently running.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
okay for the people at home. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. So this is a new one. I don't even know what that one is. This is the Dutch one that we actually showed. So this is QuizBuy. So you can see it's actually got 50,000 views, 3.7K watch hours, which is actually not a lot at all. Okay, so the text is correct. The views are just dying out a lot, but the only reason I'm running this is because I want to get this channel monetized. So I have a Dutch channel monetized. That's kind of the only reason, and I hope it of course goes viral.
Yeah.
And because some brands are making better money, so the QuizBuy Espanol is growing really quickly. It's 25,000 subscribers a month.
Sure.
So within two or 3 months, I should be getting a play button for this one. RPM kind of a bit low. Still pretty decent money.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, if you're covering cost is only 600 a month.
That's nutty.
Yeah, it's almost nothing. So it's insane. So this is also fun. This is slime videos that we do, the ASMR stuff. But now even this we're doing in every single language. So this is a German slime channel. And it's called Come and Spiel Slime with me. And it's doing like 2,000 views a day. But soon we're actually having an AI automate these videos. So we don't do the production anymore. You just do thumbnail and uploading.
And this is like all this content is the content that you made yourself. That you,
this
in
is
your
like a
studio.
studio in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The slime stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's so important for people, of course, at home to know. Like you can't just take slime videos from the internet.
Yeah,
and
no, you
just,
cannot, because
this is your
sort
own
of compilation. Yeah,
You own the IP and the copyright. Yeah.
yeah. So here we actually have another Japanese one from yesterday going viral. I think it's just like a Sprunky,
I
isn't it?
can not read what that says.
Yeah, this is Sprunky. I don't know if you know the trend.
Sprunky?
Yeah, it's fucking huge. It's insane.
Tell me, what is Sprunky?
It's like very stupid sounds, like and it still makes sounds. It's very stupid content. Let me.
I'm definitely getting too old for this shit.
Yes,
Definitely getting too old.
even I have the same. With like literally the sixth search of Sprunky brain rot.
Sprunky brain rot.
Sprunky, yeah. So if you type in Sprunky, you actually see a lot of shorts. Markiplier plays it. So it's like, of course, the famous creator here. Look at this. It's like a song animation one.
Oh yeah.
45 seconds, but it's 40 million views. So it's like stupid sounds and effects. That's stupid content. It's like a whole animation, so it's kind of insane. I'm not going to play too much, otherwise I might get a copyright claim on this shit.
Yeah,
This is actually the channel I'm not
I
trying
just
to get claims.
felt some IQ levels fall out of my ears.
Yeah, and the same, exact same thing here. So the sound is not here, but it's kind of insane if you look at all the colors and like animations, and they're just dragging things.
Okay.
And
This
they
worm just
yeah.
got boobs.
Yep. That's
Sure.
pretty much the point. And then a question mark on the other one. Oh, and then they got thick. Oh, yeah. And now one person is getting horny. So that's pretty much the content they're posting. It's wait, what? I don't know.
I'm
They're
so
doing
happy I'm
something.
in a different niche.
They're doing now some naughty stuff. What the fuck am I watching? And this is allowed on YouTube is actually mind blowing. Holy shit! This is like low-key porn. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The top comment literally says that's enough internet for today.
Yeah. I kind of asked myself, how did you end up on that video, good sir? What is your watch history? That's my question.
Well, I just typed in Sprunky and it was like the second video to show up.
No, like that comment, like enough internet for today. Well, you did something to get this and you recommend it.
Well, that's the same with TikTok. Like TikTok for me is just all left content, and then Instagram is just like racist right content.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I can show you. It's like it either goes one or two ways.
Huh.
It's also like the fact that you're all going to make a kids game made by a kid make it so disgusting and cruel, disrespectful as hell. How many views does this video get in which time?
21 million views in 2 months. Yeah, that's
For 8-minute video.
yeah, that's crazy.
So
That's
it's
crazy.
8 minutes of.
But I mean, like, I understand completely the appeal, especially if you're like a faceless creator to do like these different language channels, because it's just not that saturated yet. I 100% think it's a huge opportunity, and if you can get someone who has experience doing that, helping you with it, like it's a no-brainer. But yeah, that's great real time. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is going up. That's the Japanese one. So that's not even monetized yet. It's just waiting for the watch hours, which is kind of sad.
I'm just waiting for the day that you crack the Chinese market, that you find like, okay, a Weibo.
But yeah, well, we have actually done that. I can probably go to Kaisha.
So I have a good friend of mine, Chris, takes off. Like I helped him with his first series on his travel channel, did like amazing, got him monetized in like a few days. It was insane. And I still talk to Chris quite a bit. And his content, his travel content is actually, it's gone viral in China because people took his content, put it on that Weibo thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Like people were reaching out to him on Instagram, like, hey, you're going like mega viral here in China. Like you're in the news. And because he went to like this dog eating market or something to show like what's normal there, and in the culture. But I think that's it's such an interesting market because it's so closed off from the rest of the world, but it's such a huge country at the same time. Like there's so many people there. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for the day that you come to me like, listen, I'm moving to China.
Probably not going to happen unless they get like a really good tax regime. So funny thing to note, actually, it doesn't seem to get that many views anymore. Okay, the guy's still posting, actually. He's very consistent with it. I'm surprised. But we actually have a Chinese profile. So we do actually make money from China.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is this Weibo or what?
This is Kaisha.
Ooh, what?
Kaisha. It says Kwai in the English form. So you also have Kwai. It's the same like Douyin. We also have a Douyin profile, which actually has quite a bit more followers than this, but I'm not logged into it. But this one actually has 93,000 followers. So this is doing pretty great. It's like a little bit shorts. We also have something called Voom.
Yeah.
Voom is for the Japanese market, shorts.
Yeah.
That actually does pretty great. We're making like $3 to $4 grand a month on that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like it covers all of the production cost.
What is the? I'm actually curious. What is the? So my income is pretty straightforward, right? Like
Yeah.
I have clients I work with. They pay me a monthly retainer. They can leave whenever. They're not like stuck to like months that they have to work with me. They can leave whatever. And
Yeah.
I make like, let's say for example, I make around $500,000 from that a year.
That's insane. That's
example.
really good. Yeah.
And then I have like some other deals on the side with them, where I help them with products and said like I connect them. I'm kind of like the plug between everything. I just
No,
connect
that
people.
makes sense. It makes a lot of money.
So yeah, I make money there, but that's it. Like that's my business. Like I do make some affiliate money, of course, for like my affiliate for 1 of 10 or other things that I work with that make sense as a strategist. But that's my like, I don't have like really weird income streams. But I want to know, what is the weirdest thing that makes you money a month? Because I think you have some weird like, oh, I have like an account on a Russian social media that's making me like $1,000 a month or something.
No.
There has to be something odd.
Well, it depends if you're talking all time or you're talking right now. So,
give me the funniest answer.
The funniest answer is that I actually. I'll tell you after podcast because this is
Do you
gonna
have a
be good.
podcast friendly answer?
Podcast friendly answer is that I uploaded Minecraft content on a different website and that actually got good money.
Oh, well, it's actually I actually saw a girl, Dara Ta.
Yep, on LinkedIn.
Yeah, she for the people that don't know, she was doing like physics content.
Correct. Yeah.
And she's a good-looking girl.
Yeah.
She puts the physics content on her YouTube channel, and she also put it on
The hub.
the hub thing with the corn. And
Yeah.
she actually makes more money. She made more money there than she made on YouTube.
Yep.
Are we talking about the same?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So that,
How much did that make you?
Probably like 6 or 7 grand before I stopped it.
That's
and that was
crazy.
in 2017. I was just 18. Did that for a few months. Sent it to a friend and then got the money from a friend.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Didn't want my parents to know that.
And
I
there's a
actually uploaded
crazier
content.
answer to this as well. Okay. I'll keep that for after the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how much time we actually have. We've done we've done 2 hours and 10 minutes now. Well, we did a little chit chat in the beginning, so we're close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
No, so that's definitely one. The other one would be Kausha. The other one would be Douyin. We had some deals actually with Weibo in the past, but Weibo is only interested if they have bonus programs.
Okay.
So the bonus program was if you got 100,000 plus followers, you were getting a bonus of 1,000 US. But getting 100,000 followers there is like done.
Yeah.
We managed to pull it off sometimes within a week.
Yeah.
When you have great quality content and people like it, it's really easy. Like if China would pay for me to dub the content, so they would do like an upfront payment. So let's say they would come out and say like, hey, we want you to upload your content here. I would be like, okay, sure, pay me 15 grand.
Yeah.
And let's say they pay me 15 grand, I would do a guaranteed 100 shows on their content. So that would be like the exchange that we normally do. We did the same with Slime. We did the same with Sand videos. We helped Strategist and some other creators also get certain deals. In the beginning, even with TikTok, certain content on TikTok, we got futures for it. So you get a bonus program. Before like any of the monetization stuff was out, we just got paid up front.
Yeah.
Just to post content there so they get more content, more volume.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. So people flock over to the program, to the content. So that's a very interesting one. Russia, we've never made money from there. Not from VK or the other platforms. Never really been looking towards that either. For sure not right now with the restrictions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like receiving and collecting money is harder anyways. So not really keen on that. Any other platforms? Voom is very interesting. Nobody ever heard about Voom, which does
What's that?
3 to 4 grand. It's a Japanese short form platform.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that actually paid really great. We used to have 168 shows there. So that was great. We just had one full-time guy working on shorts, and then we were posting mostly gadget videos. There's also a guy that actually stole my content. Very sad, because otherwise I would have a diamond play button.
Oh.
And it's called Home Items, and it has 10.7 million subscribers, and it's pretty much my content.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
that sucks.
it's kind of sad. I really want a diamond play button. That would be so fucking great for marketing. There's
Yeah,
like
for sure,
no
yeah.
faces for people that have like diamond play buttons. So me
No, that's
having
true.
one
That's true.
would be absolutely mind-blowing for marketing.
I hope either end of this year or somewhere before the half of next year, I can get that diamond play button. I have a few creators I'm working with where I can say
Probably
like,
ask
okay,
that. Like, hey, can you order one for me?
oh, 100%. Yeah, because then if I do that with some of the creators I work with now, I've been instrumental to that growth. Then I only have the play buttons of people where I know, like I played like an instrumental, impactful
Yeah, and
role.
if you get them for 5 to 10 million or for 5 to 12 million, and it's like mostly because of your strategies, 100% you should deserve it.
Yeah, that's so like that's the only rule that I have, and it's like, you know, the play buttons that I show. I also have an old play button in my shed still, like from an
Yeah.
old channel back in, I think 2012. I don't even look at those anymore, but like the play buttons that I'm most proud of now is like the ones with my clients where I know like
Yeah.
I can look at it and be like, yeah, I didn't just like grow this channel with them, but I made them better creators. Like that is
100%.
to me like, dude, that's the best feeling in the world.
100%.
It's even better for me than like my own, you know, if I would have my own channel.
Yeah, I have the same. So I changed the names of a lot of my play buttons for branding purposes, of course. So they're
of
called
course,
One a Cash Cow when there's like some sort of slime channel that is actually the one that got the play button. Eventually, you have less value to them. The reason I don't care that I don't have the 10 million one is because it's a short channel. And I do kind of want it to be a long format to really be proper. Like, hey, I got a 10 million channel. Like, still would be great, but it would be great if you're selling like a shorts course. Like, hey, I actually got 10 million plus. Let's say your channel's like Zach D Films, 100%. So that makes it, then I would be proud of it, but not for uploading some gadget videos and just blowing the fuck up. So we do have a couple golden ones right now. We have 2. We should have like 4 or 5, but on certain channels you don't get them because they don't apply to all policies, which is kind of sad. Yeah, it's interesting. So there's a lot of ways to make money. Even had people offer money for play buttons, which is kind of funny and cringe. So they just ask like, hey, Warner, do you have another channel? Like, I want to get a play button. Here's like $400, and I'm like, yeah, no, thanks.
No,
I'm not gonna do that business model because I know people do that in India a lot.
Oh yeah.
So it's a great business model. I know that's actually where people buy the fake subs, the fake play buttons.
Yeah, I've heard it from Brandon, who did like an expose on that Chems whatever guy. So I got a little bit of insight there. I didn't even know that market existed, but it's like, it makes sense
because of a secondhand market called Swapped.
Yeah, okay.
So
it makes sense. You know, if you're a guru, like you want to portray the lifestyle that you want to sell, so you know you show the play buttons in a Lamborghini. I mean, it makes sense.
But you don't show 12 of them, and it has to be your own. You cannot really flex with other people. But I don't like to talk really negative about other people, even though I don't 100% agree with most of the stuff that other people do, because they don't have the experience. Just for your sake, just so you know that I do have channels over 1 million subs.
Oh no, I believe you.
I want to fill them up. Let me just look for 3 seconds. Like, I don't even know which. Oh, this is, by the way, the Russian channel. So that seems to now also pick up.
Okay,
16 subscribers now. And like I said, everything is really new. So you can see like this is like 5, 6.
Yeah.
Probably like over a week, like 10 videos.
Yeah.
On this one. What else? This is the Arabic version that I said of the Islamic one. So you can also see the views here. It's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, that's nutty.
So it's really nice. All pretty much one video. It's about why cats are good in Islam. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes I watch those videos as well. So it's nice to have an understanding of it. So see some slime channels popping up. This is the German one for certain Bible videos. So we just got a new viral video. Looks like it.
Oh yeah, awesome.
So that's amazing. I'm really curious to the RPM here. We just need a couple hundred more subscribers. We got the watch hours already. Just 200 subs left. So that's coming up now. Let me go to the 1 million plus sub channels. Let's see. This one is really interesting. I'm not going to click on it. I'll show you after. But it's a really interesting one. This is the English version. Just doesn't do well. So this is one silver play button, another silver play button, another silver one. Let's see. This is the golden one. This one probably going to reach 10 million someday.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
That's the Polish one that I just showed you. So that's at least one golden here, and there's a few more if I just keep scrolling. Because a lot of channels are...
Man, the amount of channels gives me a headache.
Yeah, it is. It also gives me a headache, to be honest. It's kind of...
I thought I had a lot of YouTube Studio switches to do, but
no,
that's nothing compared to what you're doing.
Another silver. I don't even see the other one with the golden one. This one I'm really excited for. This is the Minecraft animation that we're doing. So the guy published one. I don't know how many views it got. That went shit. Because he uploaded from computer. The thumbnail's not as good. Yeah, so he started uploading from computer, and now the views are like 2,000 a piece, and it used to be like 40,000. So I'm gonna keep uploading myself. Doesn't make sense for him to do so. Interesting. The Minecraft content is fun.
I can imagine, yeah, especially if you enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I used to join the past, and almost has 100,000 subs. So it's like it's sort of a nostalgia thing. I lost like 4 or 5 grand on that, to be honest, just because the animations are expensive. But it's just like a passion project that I really like. This is the other one, 100,000 subs.
Oh yeah.
It's like the cake studio that we had in Hong Kong. It was really cool content. This is the fun channel. The average view duration is 55 minutes.
Oh, that's great.
So focusing a lot on watch hours right now.
Yeah.
The easiest way to make more money is focus more on watch hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Longer
Yeah.
videos, better storytelling. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like, but ultimately, like, the whole subscriber thing is a vanity metric as is. It's like great. So like, it's a moment where you kind of have to reflect, where you get like the play button at home, and you open. Although now it became a fucking picture frame. It's so small, but but it's kind of like that moment where you have to reflect, be like, dang, yeah, we really did this. Okay, nice. And you put it, on the wall. You just go forward again. But besides that, like, it's
whatever.
It's whatever, right? Like, and that's something I think a lot of these people that beginner creators also do not understand is that, not every channel you start or not every idea you have is going to be a W. It's like going to be
100%.
and that's what a lot of people think, because they see like all the success and they're like, oh, I'm going to try a channel, and they don't understand that you do so much volume.
100%,
You brute force success. You are now at a point where you have the manpower and the financial power to just brute force the success. Like you can just like do.
But that's what's like with your partner, or the person you used to work with Leander. I also showed it it's like I'm one of the only people that literally can post a screenshot every single day because of the brute force of amount of channels that I have.
Yeah,
I don't just run one quality channel and hope it hits. No, I'm running like a channel a day on average. So
and I think that's very important that beginners also understand that. Like, hey, keep in mind.
You cannot compare it. Like, I have in Bali 18 editors. I have in Pakistan, just based on the team for this kind of content, we have 16 people, it's 34.
Yeah.
Then we have a studio in Hong Kong with 8 people, it's 42. How are you going to outwork me when you're getting started and doing Upwork and job listings while I'm just having higher positions and trainings and full ecosystems in place? You cannot compare like a beginner with like an expert. It's the same thing as I'm going to play soccer against Cristiano Ronaldo right now. Yeah, who the fuck is going to win? I'm not as fit as he is. And he's fucking 42 and he has more apps than I do. So it's a huge difference. But yeah, if you talk about, and I think it's a really good one, like how many failed channels. This one failed completely, never took off. This one failed completely, never took off. This one we probably just started or didn't take off. This one didn't take off, 0 subscribers. We probably have like 10 or 20 videos on it. This one is not really allowed by YouTube. This one didn't take off at all. We've probably posted over 30 plus videos. We got 30 subscribers. This one never took off. We probably have 17 or 18 videos. Never did anything. This one has about 20, 25 videos. Probably should have gone a little bit longer. Died out because of some AdSense issues. This one died out. So that's already pretty much 8 out of the top 6 channels that I'm showing have died. So there's a lot of channels that I can skip. This one did fucking well, but another guy had an issue with some Pakistani guy, bought his AdSense away, so lost all the money. This was the channel that did like 0 to 400 a day that I'm going to post today. Because then I'm connecting that to the call to action post. So that's kind of fun. This one we just recently got remonetized again. This is starting to do a little bit better, I think. Yeah, this one seems to start doing a little bit of volume.
Yeah, but so I mean, like the point is, like, not everything is going to be a home run.
Absolutely not.
And it's a different way of doing YouTube.
Considered a home run? If you're going to talk about channels that are doing over 5 figures, it's probably like 1 out of 10.
Yeah,
but not even like 1 out of 15, maybe.
I think the most important thing is that people need to understand that doing YouTube this way is a different way of doing YouTube than where you have limited resources, where you need to like obsess over the ideation and obsess over like, is this the right idea? Is this going to, you don't have to, you can be like generalize it more. It's like, okay, this niche is doing well. Let's test the niche. And 100%. If it's now doing a lot better, okay, then I'm going to put more resources into that team or like into that process so that we can dominate that market for a certain amount of time. And I think that's what a lot of people do not understand is that when they see someone like you or even Noah Morris or Fed or what's the other guy's name, Wiz of YouTube?
Andrew.
Andrew, yeah, sorry. Like I think like when I think about like automation guys that are like top level, I think of like those names. Like, and
Same.
even within those names, you all are very different. You have, in my opinion, different expertise. Like I wouldn't call. I know that some of these people couldn't start a branded channel if their life depended on it. Why? Because they've never done it. It's a different way of doing YouTube, and that's fine. But people need to understand, like, hey, what do I want to learn? Do I want to become Warner?
Yeah.
If you want to become Warner, you want to have business systems scaling. You want to like build a media empire on YouTube. Take your coaching.
Yeah.
Get your coaching because you know the best. how this works. In my opinion, you're probably the top two, maybe like with the other Andrew guy. I don't know like what his operation is like, but
For sure, more CMS related stuff. So it's completely separate than what I do.
okay, well then you're probably the top guy in the world if you want to learn. Okay, I want to become. In the Netherlands, we have a guy called John de Mol. He's like, he's the guy that he came up with the concept of The Voice. The singing contest show. Like they got be the network guy, but then on YouTube. If that's what you want to do, get your coaching.
Yeah.
If you want to become a star, I would probably call me. But it's like understanding that doing YouTube you can do that in so many different ways, and it all depends on what are your goals.
100% agreed. Very simple.
There we go. Amen.
Perfect. I think that should be good. We got 2.5 hours done. So
I don't know what to talk about anymore. I can start singing, but I don't think
go for it. Where's the backflip? That's kidding. No, it's really nice. Thanks everyone for watching. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And if you want to have more insights, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll have a little chit chat and see what we can best do for you. Of course, with YouTube automation related. If you want to be famous, then send Leroy a message.
No, just buy his coaching. He's better.
I appreciate the ego, the ego push. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, thank you so much, and have a great day.